And there we are. Okay.
Are we back right now?
Yeah, we are back right now.
So,
Sick.
Wooly, what's up with the fact that you're muting us because we have the ones after our sentences? What's up with that? You just auto delete those from the fucking audio hellscape that is this podcast?
I don't need. I have video right in front of me. I can see you. I have visual confirmation of your numbers, so I have. There's no problems. I have no verification required. I've given it my ocular pat down has occurred.
Hey, you know what? This is a podcast where we talk about issues of the day. We got Billy here.
Hey, aka
welcome, Billy.
SirMeowMusic of
once again.
I'm a YouTuber. Hi.
Yes.
Cheers.
You don't get it.
But before we get into that, Wooly, what the fuck are you doing over on your channel? I am getting like segregationist vibes just floating over across to my shit.
That's wild. These are wild accusations. Allegations. They are accusatory.
You're giving people little tags.
There's a number, and that number is just in a bracket, and that's all that is. Now, listen, all right? Like, I guess, yes. So we started playing Pal World, and as one can imagine, Pal World.
Dude, I got so fucking confused. I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? Is there actual segregation going on, bro?
So Pal.
Well, just wait.
So Pal World,
damn.
Is a very spicy game with a whole lot of unsubtle. Just here is your slavery. Here is your pals. Here is your Pokemons with guns, etc. And as you can imagine, so last week, I believe we went through the motions of the discourse, and there were many times where I try to do my thing and push it to the uncomfortable direction that it deserves to go in, only to be met with Pal World's power that is the unexpected straight punch. I'm already there. There is no subtext. Fuck you, it's text, right? Right on the surface, as Pat was explaining. So with that, going into the recording session for this game, people start getting kind of wild with their jokes and their comments. And I'm seeing some of these coming in, and we're like, whoa, hold on a minute. Who are you? You can see me, but I can't see who you are. And I don't know if that joke is appropriate.
We need some kind of verification system.
So then Reggie...
I think there's more, that's going to cause more trouble if we have that, dude.
So then Reggie goes, we're going to need some complexion brackets after your messages, so you could just give a denote of what shade on the character creator, right? From 1 to 5 or whatever, you happen to fall into, so that when you say some wild shit, it's like, oh, okay, I know who you are. Because again,
Isn't that a fucking Family Guy bit, dude?
Holding up the swatches.
Yeah,
yes,
holding
up the swatches.
I have two questions. My first question is, what verification system do you have in place to make sure that everybody's using the right number?
And also, what's like at which shade, which slurs per shade? I know,
and my follow-up question.
Billy, that's a contextual, that's a societal decision, really.
And as a follow-up question, Wooly, I have to ask that if there is currently no verification, does that mean that like tier 2 or tier 3 subs get your like express like heartfelt permission to maybe swap around their number for funsies?
Now, Wooly Versus runs on the honor system. And
bullshit honor system.
And we believe that the integrity of the chatter is paramount, and the chatter will use their brackets honestly. That's the type of society we want to live in. We live in a glass half full, kind of optimistic way of seeing things. And so with that, right? So he mentions the complexion brackets, and like that's a good bit. That's a nice strong bit. It opens up the Power World discussion. Fully equipped. Right now, I'm prepared because again, it's kind of wild to see shit coming our way and not know who we're talking to, right? So the brackets get introduced, and after I go, all right, Reggie, I see what you've done there. We take it off, we go offline, and I basically am like, well, let's take a look at our emotes and see how many slots we've got available, and I can free up some space. So we just kind of put together 1 2 3 4 strong bit, so we have some new emotes, and they're available, and the idea is you just put the number after your statement, so it's some context. It's some context so that I can hear and know what's happening when it's coming in.
Wooly, you are
direction.
standing outside of a live performance show selling cans of shoe polish and clown makeup to anyone who walks in.
And do you want the clown makeup or the shoe polish? And if you decide to use the shoe polish, whose fault is that? Listen.
Oh man.
Listen.
Oh, you may have gone too far in a few places.
Well, we will have to see then, won't we? I think we'll find out, and that's that in short order. It seems like it's fine so far. We'll see what happens. It's going all right. But that's it. That's how this came to be. And quite frankly, this is what happens when you try to put baby in a corner. When you introduce a game like Power World and you don't get me, and you try to restrict my movements, the cornered mouse attacks the cat. We're gonna lash out a little bit. So
I've been in here for like 2 fucking minutes, dude. What the fuck just happened, man? Hey, I fucking got in. I said, can I say the C word? You said not the one you're thinking about. The one that rhymes with
Blacker.
I don't fucking know. Oh man. No, dude. That's not at all what I said, bro.
Well,
what the fuck?
Well, I mean, I did approve.
Honky.
I did approve honky. That's true.
It's my
my
favorite.
Which Pat then said, "Hey,
I don't think shouldn't he be asking me if that's
Why should I be asking you? I'm white.
Right, and
I'm whiter than you."
To which I then
I look pretty fucking tomato-ish right now. I guess I agree.
Bro, you can see my blood.
To which
it's gross in here.
To which I then
can't go outside.
To which I then note that I think you and your people have done enough approving already. Thank you very much. I think there's been I think the quantity of approvals done through you is at capacity.
I don't approve of this. I was like,
yeah. So shout outs to Solidus. I have a dream, that people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. 1.
When has an honor system ever?
I don't.
In the context
I don't
of
trust.
racism. I'm gonna be honest.
It.
I feel like you're just playing with.
Welcome to the podcast,
also,
Billy.
Where's the
welcome to the podcast?
Where's the 0 on that chart? I don't feel properly represented by the 1.
Damn. Where is the morbing out level?
Yeah, where's my morb skin tone?
Yeah, the sun will murder you. Anti-melanin, I don't know. To be honest, I mean, look, I kind of looked at it and I went, how many slots am I willing to dedicate to the bit? And the answer is 4.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we can go harder, but I don't think it's necessary.
The 4 numbers.
Relatively. It's just treat it like the old Soul Calibur create a character system, All right. Hi. Hey, what's up? Welcome. Starting off strong, rolling starts. You know the deal. You've done a podcast or two. Right? You're a YouTuber too.
I'm a YouTuber too. I have many a podcast.
So you should
usually we don't.
familiar.
Okay, that's a lie. I was gonna say we don't usually jump into like racism and shit, but that's a lie.
Not usually.
No, not in that way. Not in that way. Not in that way.
I feel
that sounded bad.
I feel like
Fuck.
almost every conversation we've had since we've met has gone in that way, one way or another.
It has, dude. It's actually fucking true. Even when we had this fucking at MagFest, we were just talking about like Disco Elysium, and at one point, like it just fucking 180'd into like a discussion about racism in class.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn, this got deep.
Yeah,
this got deep.
I mean, the short version is that Billy kind of bounced on some of the content, and I was like going, okay, well, I'm not going to be the person who's going to sit here and just go like, what the fuck? Oh my God. But I'm just going to tell you, here's the stuff that resonated with me and why. And
yeah, no, and it did help me with my opinion on the game. Cause I mean, one thing you said that really marked me marked me. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm French, guys. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You know, we've all been there.
We you know how we had like different shades of like white, different. So fucking tired. Different shades of whatever. Different shades of French is what I wanted to say.
Sure.
Damn.
Sure.
We would all switch over into fucking busted French to continue this conversation, but the audience isn't gonna understand that.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire? C'est quoi?
I guess que c'est though.
Either way, what I was saying is something that
you won't bite.
Stayed with
me.
No. I ain't bite. I never bite. I've learned. It's been 5 years on YouTube. At one point, you learn never to bite. Something that really, yeah.
I was translating fucking fake English into French on my Like a Dragon stream the other day, and my fucking chat was like leaving and killing themselves on the spot. It was like rough. Visibly damaging their lives.
I feel like if I could, maybe I just need to increase like the racism pressure aura through the screen right now.
No, you're good, man.
So that like maybe in about 2 hours, eventually, like the French will just start coming out. I don't know. We'll see.
Wooly,
you want me to call my sister real quick? She has some words. She has some choice shit to say.
Your wings are looking a little melted.
Dude, I don't give a fuck. I've talked about my sister on my own shows. She's like,
but the sun is warm, Pat.
I know it's your. Listen,
so
a couple more
warm.
flaps, and those feathers might start to wilt.
Hey, Billy. I mean, listen. I'm not bringing up your sister. That's you.
I don't give a fuck.
That's your material. That's your material, friend.
Listen. I if you want, I can. I don't know how deep we want to get. I can say the one thing that marked me forever. Like,
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, all right. So I know Wooly knows this one because at my New Year's Eve party because like I said like you said, we always end up in racism territory, which is really funny, kind of weird for me.
Huh. Odd how that happens.
So my sister, first time she's ever seen my nose piercing.
Fuck this.
I was cooking, and then I turn around and I look at her, and she's like, "Oh, you're like one of those African cannibals." That's the type of fucking like insane cartoonish racism in my family, buddy. So bad, bro.
Continue comme ça.
Let's go, Esti. She said it in French though, so it sounded even worse.
Yeah. You know what my favorite part is like I have told stories about my fucking family, and it's the same shit. It's the same stories.
His brother, same stories.
Oh fucking no way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
There it is. Yeah, see, there it is.
Yeah.
I can't hide it for long. We're 20 minutes in there. It came out.
All right. But you were saying about what left an impact. You're saying
impact. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, no, I remember we talked about it, and because for me, one thing, like, we have really similar tastes, and at one point you said when you like a lot of the Disco Elysium, a lot of the dialogue is very heady, and a lot of it can come off as pretentious, and listen, on my own show, I would never say that because I don't want to get crucified. But you basically took the words out of my mouth. I kind of found a lot of it super pretentious. But then as we spoke about it, as we talked about Disco Elysium and the themes, and like you kind of spoiled some stuff for me, but you did ask first. And I was like, no, absolutely go for it, because I feel like I'm literally missing out on this shit.
But I promise you, what I told you about was literally all within the first hour of the game.
It all... No, because I played way more than that.
You can.
No, well, hold on. I'll stop both of you.
Okay.
The first hour of the game can actually encompass a huge variety of things.
That's true.
That's right. Yeah, it could be.
True.
All the stuff I was describing, I definitely didn't describe anything that was too much later. That was all very pre-measure head stuff, you know?
I don't think it's actually crazy for you to describe the dialogue of Disco Elysium as potentially extremely pretentious. The game can often feel like you're asking a Nobel laureate for directions, and he starts going off about how race is just a socioeconomic function of class. And you're like, dude, I just want to get a garbage bag for my can.
Yeah, no, it goes really deep into like super heady stuff, and all in my head I was just like, man, this is the most pretentious shit I've ever read. And like after when you started explaining to me like the reasons why you love the game and everything, I went like, oh shit, I get it now. I understand why people like this game, because I'm gonna be honest, I mean, to be fair, I hate CRPGs, which that's
a bad, like, that's an albatross around your neck to come into the talkiest game that's ever been.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I didn't want to play that game. It was voted on by like my Patreon. They usually vote on games that I don't like, and then I have to play them.
So the way I kind of describe
that's not 100% true. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. The way I kind of described it as you were searching for words was, I think that on first glance, you might look at how, like you said, heady and heavy some of that dialogue gets, and it meanders in such a way where it might strike you as pretentious, but a little bit further, and you kind of see that it's actually very earnest and sincere. You know, but like that, there's definitely that initial question which you can get from, you know. There's a lot of games out there that are quite pretentious in their dialogue and how they handle things, and
like Metal Gear.
I was gonna say Metal Gear, but I also
Kojima.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I just played Metal Gear Solid 3 for the first time like 2 nights ago, and I had to write some notes about the game, and let me just get my notepad. Gamers don't die; they just respawn.
Wow, there you go. Hey,
here's what I wrote. Here's one of the notes I wrote. I wrote this is a game for perverts.
Yeah,
dude, holy shit!
It's a game by perverts for perverts.
There's a dedicated look at titty button. That's fucking crazy.
Stare at the ass to know which guard
awesome
is the one you're looking for.
Listen, just because you're making the game while like desperately not trying to beat off doesn't mean that you can't have an insightful critique of Cold War politics through the lens of a man who meows at you while twirling his little guns.
See, I didn't know any of this shit. I was just playing the game normally, and at one point, motherfucker starts meowing.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Stare at the ass and also learn about the other definition of muff.
Some materials unaccounted
for.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Muff.
Yeah, I have to say, in Disco Elysium, it actually feels like the both of these things are very pretentious, but Disco, it actually feels a lot more earned because you're in universe talking to a guy who is like proselytizing at you, whereas in fucking Metal Gear, you're like, oh man, I rescued you from being a hostage. What's up? Have you ever heard about nuclear waste going missing? Holy shit, let me tell you about the START 3 treaty.
And then the thing is, and the START 3 Accord, and then on top of that, like the disc also has a narrator, so that even if you're just standing around looking at things, it's still got that tone. But I think the example that you gave, Billy, was like, you're like, oh, like Y2K vibes, you know?
No, I never said that. You said that.
Oh.
I remember specifically you said that because when you said that, I started laughing because I haven't heard somebody talk about yick and
Yick. Yeah, that's it. That's
forever.
Right.
And
But no,
Did you know that the creator doesn't like it to be named Yick?
Oh, I don't care.
I thought
he wrote it that way.
I thought it was Yeek.
But he doesn't want it pronounced that way.
When it was announced, I did think it was Yeek. But no. So the yeah, that's the thing with it. But at the same time too, it's one of those bits where I'm like, hey, I know a thing or two about what it's like when someone's like, no, you gotta get into, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna lock you and go like, here's why you gotta give it another shot. It's more just like, here's the stuff that I thought was pretty impactful about it, you know. Also, I think too, there's been a couple times where there's a lot of people that I like meet and talk to that do, you know, similar like podcasts, YouTube stuff like that we do. I feel like I take for granted that I'm like, oh, you've probably seen a bunch of the anime that we know, or we've played a game that we are all kind of know as well. And there'd be times where you'd kind of be like, actually, no, I haven't. What's that about? And I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. Don't just assume that everyone is on that same necessarily level or into the same genres and stuff like that, right?
I think the second thing you've ever told me, second time we met up, you told me, oh, you don't like anime.
that is a wild exaggeration. But
I remember you said that. Something of the sort, because I remember we were talking about you were assuming that I watched, I don't remember what, and then you were like, oh, you don't like anime.
That is not how that went. I was apologizing because I'm like, so much of what I make reference to with people in like these types of
second. I'm gonna stop you both.
Okay.
Were you two both fucking drunk during this conversation? Because you both seem to have come away with two completely different fucking experiences.
I was. I'm gonna be honest. For like the first few times where we hung out, I thought you thought I was like a raging alcoholic because every single time we hung out.
Oh, don't worry, man. We know what a raging alcoholic looks like.
I mean, you got turned. You got turned.
Oh yeah. White boy get turned. It was during fucking. It was like every single time it was at a party. It was like for Halloween. It was for fucking New Year's Eve, and every single time I would get really fucked up, and then I'd be like, "Oh man, he must think I'm such a fucking alcoholic, bro."
I don't. It was lit, but. What I was saying at the time was I was like, oh, this is my bad because like in this type of sort of you know, like again, adjacent to like friends groups that I have and things like that, people that know the same games and the same world and stuff. I make references in everything I say to other media that is just kind of like I commonly kind of expect, like, oh, or think the person might have seen. And when like I think I tried maybe 2 of those and I made reference to something that like didn't quite land, and I was like, oh, hold on, let me just stop defaulting to that way of speaking.
Did I just dead stare at you and you went like, oh shit?
And it was
he has no idea.
I think you guys just want to like kind of just went like, oh yeah, I have to check that out. I heard it was pretty good. I think you kind of did. You kind of you said that once or twice, and then I was like, okay, right. Okay. I did the polite guy. Yeah, and I'm like, right. Let me stop just going straight to that point, and that's the kind I was like, oh yeah, okay. These are not.
Bully's like, wait a second. This guy doesn't know anything about. He doesn't get my sick anime references. I must have to treat him like he doesn't know a goddamn thing in this world. Let me just talk to him like a baby. He doesn't understand my Naruto's.
He didn't know. Like it's almost as if like I was trying to talk to him about Digimon nonstop, and then he didn't know. It's all like, you don't know about Digimon. What are we supposed to talk about? All right.
Talk to you if you don't know about Digimon.
Love you, Josh. Listen. So
I'm sorry. Somebody actually found the exact time and date, and apparently when I met you for the first time at the airport, I tweeted about it, and somebody just retweeted that, and it's driving me fucking crazy.
There's an actual.
Yeah, there's. I didn't think I tweeted about it, but apparently there's like
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
Well, that's very nice. I again would like to reiterate, I've done so since in previous podcasts, ever since. So the story, I mean, you can kind of summarize if you'd like.
Yeah. Okay. So it was the airport. 6 a.m. July 4th, 2019. Actually, it was probably way earlier than that. But
4:39 a.m.
It was real fucking early, and I just remember specific. Like I'm gonna be honest, 2019 so far in my head. But one thing I remember.
Were you drunk?
I wish I was drunk, dude. At least I'd have a fucking excuse, man. I don't have an excuse for this shit.
Oh my god.
I remember specifically, I saw your Katamari duffel bag, and I remember being like, "Yo, that's a fucking sick ass bag." And then I looked up and I was like, "Go, that's Wooly." And I thought to myself, I was sitting down like right behind you, you know, like those seats that like you're there and I'm on, like we're back to back. And I remember I was like staring backwards. I was like, oh fuck, that's Wooly. I gotta go say something. I can't let this. What if I never get to see him again? I gotta go see him. And I was really nervous back then because I had just starting YouTube, just starting all these things that are new in my life. I just remember like I was like, no, if anything, do it for a podcast story because that's how my brain works. So I got up, I went towards you. I stared at you like this because you were sitting down, and I just said, "Are you Wooly?" And I smacked my lips. I didn't do that. That would be fucking creepy. And all I remember is you were sitting down with like, you were like holding your head like this, looking down. You looked really fucking tired and you just looked up like this. Hey, man. Yeah. No, maybe you didn't go like actually like slow like that, but I just remember you looked up to me and you were like,
"Oh no, that seems about right for 4 a.m. airport, Wooly."
Yeah,
I
this is your telling.
remember
I'll
this. It's
jump in
forever
afterwards.
ago.
By all means.
You just looked up and you went, "Yeah, man. What's up?" And then I don't remember exactly what happened. I just started talking like, "Oh, I'm a big fan. I used to watch your stuff all the time. And you were like, well, thanks, man." And then when you said thanks, man, in my head, I was like, I need to keep talking to him because I think he's a really cool dude. And in my head, I could not find anything else. I was like, I got to find something that we can both relate on. So I just said, I'm a YouTuber, by the way. And you took out your phone and you were like on your phone and you were like, "Oh, that's cool. I hope it goes well for you." And then I said, "No, you don't get it. I'm a YouTube, like it's my job. It's my job to be a YouTuber." And then you looked at me and you said, "Oh, what's your channel?" And then I just like we went like I told you like, "Oh, my channel is Please Stop Talking." You looked me up on Twitter, and then you just stared at it like this, and then you went, "Pretty good." And then I at that point I had the realization of like, wow, that entire interaction was really fucked up and really bad. And I literally went down in like the depths of the conversation pit and just fucking shoveled my fucking own grave. I need to run. So I just said, "Nice talking to you." And I ran away and I sat like as far away from you as possible because I was so fucking embarrassed of how I acted.
And this man.
Wait. And then they start calling us on the plane. And I just I don't remember who. Like, I'm pretty sure you went in first because then I remember crossing. Like I crossed you to get to my seat, and I did like a little.
Wait. Hold on. Every time I've heard any variation of the story, I thought this was like you guys leaving the airport. This is you arriving and getting on the plane.
Yeah, no, we were getting on the plane.
Oh, that's so much more embarrassing.
Yeah, no, because it's even more embarrassing because
God.
No, I sat behind Wooly.
Holy shit.
And I sat behind Wooly, and I was just like during the entire flight, and I remember specifically it was a flight to Denver, and I was just sitting behind him, and I was just like,
oh my God,
staring at him, and the entire time I was being tortured in my own head. Like, what if he turns around and points and laughs? I'm gonna do something fucking drastic.
That's so funny.
So the irony in some ways is that what you just described is a Disco Elysium red check.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I guess it is.
You
I guess it is.
literally just described what happens when you fail a red check.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
But so this then I heard the retelling of this on Please Stop Talking when I was doing the slop stream.
Forever ago. If I'm honest, like the way I told it back then is probably more accurate because
it was closer to the time.
Yeah, because it's been like so long. 2019, I can't remember.
Well, again, that's very flattering and nice. And I just have to like say that there are two things. Obviously, the time of the day taken into account. I notoriously have resting bitch face. Notoriously.
Yeah, you do. You got it.
Right.
No, I know. We like I saw it like when we were at the airport from like at MagFest. We were both like staring at each other and talking slowly and like. And when
I resort back to just like default listening mode, my face goes back to what it is. But people who there have been massive moments of misinterpretation of that. One of the most recent ones being
oh no, when did you do this again to somebody else?
No, it's not even that. It's just in terms of my resting bitch face. There was a bit where there was a TikTok where Pat was talking about the bears and how it's impossible to make a bear trap that is
that bears are too stupid to open, but people can.
Right.
Stupid people can.
Right. And so I was laughing at that bit, and then you switched it over into talking about how it relates to the baby and to Elmo. And I went back into
I saw people talking about this. It was so nuts.
And I just went back into just like, I'm listening to what you're saying mode. And they're like, wow, this dude hates children. Look at the way his face drops the moment he starts talking about babies. And I'm like, oh my God, like you psychos. Like I'm literally just going back
what
into.
What if the baby was racist?
What if it
give you a
deserved it?
Smile?
Bracket 1. Listen, it's wild. It's crazy. And I'm like, I saw that. I was like, oh God. I can't. It's just the fucking resting listening mode I go into when I'm paying attention to what someone's saying. I'm sorry, but
no, it's fine. I mean, you just like kind of became my Mr. Shakedown for like the few years afterwards. Like I was scared, like walking around Montreal at one point. You just like I'd just see you and you'd fucking towards me and grab me, or I don't know.
I mean, honestly, not only was it like not at all a negative thing, it was a very normal interaction. And it's also the type of thing that like I've had, many interactions with people that I've met out in the wild, and some have been like significantly bad and weird and worse. And
I've had some negative interactions,
right?
Yeah,
out in the wild.
Same.
So
it comes with the territory. Sometimes you meet people who are a bit
so I can
excited.
That's it, right? And etc. But like I can assure you that like that was a very normal ass thing, and that like I'm sure the lens of like there's a cringe lens on this, but it's a one-way mirror. You know what I mean? Like it was a very normal thing. I don't fully remember a lot of it.
To be honest,
but
you say that this is not the first time it happened. I did it to Scott the Waz, I did it to Nostalgia Critic, and I did it to Jer from Scottoon Network. I think it's just a me thing. I'm so embarrassing to be around, bro.
If it was any worse or at all notably bad, I would have remembered more, right?
This really reminds me of when Paige and I, my wife Peach Saliva, we went to MagFest, and I was DMing Slow Beef. I'm like, we should hang out and have a lunch or whatever. And then I just happen to run into him on the street. And then I'm like, hey, Paige, honey, look, it's Soul Beef. And like she turned around to see him and she just started to cry. Just cry. Just like
man.
Like just embarrassing. And that is how she reacts. I think she met Patton Oswalt a million years ago at a show and did the same thing. Like she was like, I love your comments. Just like, bleh.
So there's words.
I mean, I don't know. That's kind of awesome though, because that's real as shit. You know, that's genuine.
But like
that's not what I do. I'm just kind of cringe.
But like crumple into a ball is infinitely more like wild and memorable.
It's memorable. Yeah, it's memorable. Did
I can tell you about like the first person I met at the first MagFest I went to, Wooly? Did I ever tell that story on this show?
I'm not sure. Okay,
so like deranged fan interactions. We go into the lobby of the Gaylord. I'm like, oh, I got to take a pee. Okay, so I go into that for there's the reception and there's the first bathroom like right there. So I dip in and I go to the urinal and I'm peeing, and a guy walks in and goes, "Hey, Pat," and I'm like, "What? No, not here, no." I have my dick in my fucking hands. What are you doing? And he looked like super embarrassed and just weird. I'm like, dude, just do your business, and I'll just be outside. I'll see you in a second. Just give me a minute.
The bathroom
at the urinal. You can't do that.
So the bathroom field is a very particular field, because I know that vibe of like, oh shit, there he goes, right? Or that's like, if you're in the zone where urinal and stalls are, you just can't. You have to just abandon it. If you're at the hand wash or walking in or out of the door, you can give a head nod. You can give a head nod like, hey, sup, right? You can give a brief one as you cross, and that's the energy. But you have to be mirrors, hand wipe, or by the door. You know,
I'm like fully midstream when I hear, "Hey, Pat." I'm like, no, I'm not doing this.
More relaxed than usual.
What I'm saying is midstream is bold, you know. You got to go. Listen, if you're gonna do that to me, you got to do it before I start.
And then it stops because you're like ready, and then you gotta get it go. It's a whole thing, and it's Jesus. Oh, come on.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, if I was at the urinal and the dude next to me at the urinal was like, "Hey man, love PSD," and just gave me a bro fist, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, bro."
You would bro fist a man at the urinal?
Yeah, of course I would fucking bro fist a man at the urinal. That's fucking badass, dude. That's fucking awesome. What are you talking about?
That's a lot of piss.
Look, imagine
swapping hands here, bro.
No, who fucking cares? You wash your hands after.
I care.
Do you not wash your hands after pissing? Oh my God! Little pee-pee boy Pat doesn't fucking wash his hands.
Oh, the reversal!
Bro!
The reversal. There you go. That's how you use it.
You're telling me that if I put a fucking washing station next to you, everyone just can come piss all over you? Oh no, it's good. I'll just wash up.
Whoa! What the fuck are you talking about? We're talking urinals. We're not talking about fucking golden shower shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
You've lost your mind. You're crazy.
You've lost your mind.
You don't touch people in the bathroom.
No, I don't give a fuck. I'm washing my hands after.
Billy, welcome to the pod,
insane.
baby. You're doing
great.
You're doing
what
great.
The hell?
I love it. I love this.
Listen,
this is fantastic.
I'm just saying, if I go into a fucking bathroom stall, I start fucking shitting, and somebody down at the, that little crack at the bottom, somebody get like, yo, dap me up, love your show. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. That'd be fucking tight as hell. I'd never forget that, dude. And you know what? Afterwards, I'd get out of that stall. They'd get out of that stall. We'd fucking hug it out. We'd wash our hands. We'd be fucking golden. You know what? Because
you sure would be, buddy.
Bro,
I can't believe
you're a prude. Is what I'm learning.
The fucking embracing of this behavior somehow ends up at me not washing my hands. I can't believe the fucking leap of logic here.
It's like no. It's like, motherfuckers, like bros be kissing and saying shit like, "Oh, no homo." Yeah, that's basically the no homo of the bathroom world, dude. You're not fucking ready for what I'm about to spit. We fucking be hugging it out in the bathroom post piss. You're not fucking ready for what I'm about to do.
Like,
you are not ready,
He's
bro.
about
Billy,
that life,
bro.
I'm about that
He's
life,
about
bro.
that life.
Billy, I want you to know that you have, in fact, done me a massive favor by justifying all the times I almost piss my pants rather than use a public bathroom at all.
Okay, if I may, I'd like viewer,
oh
just
my
for
God,
viewer,
you are
for
a prude.
little bit of extra context here. This is beautiful. I'm loving this, but the listener needs to know as well, so they catch the play. On the instant replay, in the middle of that volley, Billy dropped little PP boy Pat. Specifically as a preemptive mortar strike, because before we started, he specifically was asking that he not be called PP Boy Billy, which was a nickname from the past.
It's because at Magfest, I can't, like, I drink a lot of water, I piss a lot of pee, you know? So people started calling me little PP Boy Billy because I kept getting up and going to piss at the bar.
To which Pat then went, okay, cool, as he locked it and loaded it into his weapon.
That's right.
Preemptively as ammunition.
I don't think I had.
But did not get the chance to fire.
Listen, all I'm saying is PP Boy Pat works more because there's like the PP and the Pat, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
it's
absolutely.
alliterative.
I just need to do a little instant replay to catch the listener up on the brilliance of the mortar. Tactical. Very nice. All right. So
bro, you're nasty as fuck.
How am I fucking nasty? I wash my hands.
I mean, I've seen.
You can't get me. You can't stop me.
I like to think that usually there's enough divider between each of these stalls and urinals that like there's a space that's created organically. But I have been to urinals that are just one wall waterfall. And I have seen pictures of cursed toilets where there are just many toilets lined up with no division in between them.
That's nonsense.
That's fucking wild, dude.
Who is that for? No division.
It's just like Cursed Toilets Twitter account just has pictures of like that shit where you're like, I don't understand where or how this could be. How can we get to the point where you've gotten the plumbing down, but you said, nah, fuck the actual walls? Insane. Is that boot camp shit? Is that what that is?
Oh no, man.
Yeah. So yeah, the communal shitting is a dark energy that I'm not ready for at all. Anyways, there you go. That's a little bit of what you're about. So this is the part.
Yeah, man.
This is the part where we'd be like, "Hey, Billy, what have you been playing or watching recently?"
Yeah, what have you been up to, man?
I've been I feel like we're with everything coming out at the same time. I feel like anything I say, pretty much everybody's gonna have played it. I've been playing Tekken 8 pretty much like nonstop. It's like the only thing I've been doing.
That's a good start considering I was completely gonna skip Tekken 8 until I checked my email this morning and they sent me a code and it went into my spam and I hadn't even noticed.
Oh shit! Well, there you go.
So I was playing Tekken 8 this morning and I'm like, well, I got the Wi-Fi at the house. So you know what? I'll give Tekken's netcode a try on the Wi-Fi, and I'll see what it's like if you do the prioritize response option in the menu.
The special Wi-Fi.
And it's completely fine.
Dude, I've been playing with friends in New Zealand and on Wi-Fi, and it's been 0 issues, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, the only issue I run into is people having like a 5-bar match with you, and you knowing it'll be completely fine. And they see the symbol. And fuck you. So if that becomes a problem, I'm just gonna jury rig a fucking Ethernet cable and spoof it into the back of the goddamn computer.
Yeah.
There's so the second to last beta, the penultimate beta was like pretty spotty on the Wi-Fi and not on the Wi-Fi, on the connections. I was having tons of issues with that. The last beta I didn't have as many, but I didn't get as many games in. And having done it now, it's been pretty smooth. The first day there was actually a bunch of connection issues. They were, I think, well known and being tweeted about, and I was getting crashes on connections on day one. But everything after that seemed to be pretty smooth. And yeah, there's someone that I we met Aziz at MagFest. Shout out, like a dude flew over from Kuwait, who was like able to get some decent matches in Tekken 8, you know. So
Yeah.
it seems as if like things are working, you know, and what I like too as well is, so the indicators, they've taken it to the next level as well. So because we all played some Tekken, right? Be a good time to just jump in on it back and forth. So they've got the wired or wireless or wired indicator when you connect to somebody. They've got the connection strength, but they also have, if you're doing crossplay in particular, the PC CPU load, and they have an indicator that shows you how heavy the person's processor is loaded up at the moment.
Interesting.
So you can actually see if it's not the connection.
Like, listen, this guy's computer's it's crunching a little bit too hard.
Your connection's
to make
fine,
this match go.
but it's the actual setup that's struggling 100%.
Oh, that's great.
Really smart to put that out there. Yeah. A useful tool, because if you can't, that has nothing to do with your internet, you know, if you're looking at that. So so far so good with that, with the connections, you know. Yeah, how did what have you checked out so far in it? How'd you find it?
I mean, so far I've been because I had a lot of editing to do since we just came back from MagFest, and I got some crazy con crud. Like, I was just fucking sick. So I didn't want to go online when I felt like crap. So I've been doing a lot of like exploration of the single player stuff, all the content that's.
I'm very impressed by it. I was fucking around with that this morning.
Dude,
Arcade Quest?
Arcade Quest is probably the most comprehensive, like, beginner friendly tutorial. I really like it as a tutorial for fighting games, because it puts it, instead of being like very like fucking bash your head in with so much information, it gives you it like trickles down like information slowly to the player. And especially for Tekken, Tekken has a lot of shit. There's like move lists that are like 100 fucking pages.
Yeah, but
long.
instead they're like, hey, here's 4 moves that your character likes to use. Do you want to learn how to use the heat system? Okay, give me a combo using the heat system. Oh, good. Cool. Let's have you fight a little tournament so you can see what's what. Use a heat combo.
It takes,
the best part is, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I would say that, like, so what it does is it feels like it takes World Tour in Street Fighter 6 in a way and kind of just compresses it into a much shorter condensed experience, so that it serves as just a tutorial, you know.
But it's still a tutorial that has like context.
Yes.
And a little story. And I think if you're new to fighting games, I feel like that's the perfect way to get into it, because you still get the vibe of like what the fighting game community is like, even if it's like a virtual, like it's not real, like it's a little virtual thing, but still, like, you can still get the vibe and see like the community aspect while learning. Yeah. And it's just so well done.
So I think it's really funny how the part of the way the quest is set up is, you know, it's kind of like your Pokemon sort of like adventure crew going out there, you know. But like, they definitely do the thing where they're like, okay, you're a new person walking in, joining the community. Here's the best friend all arounder. Here's the girl who just likes costumes and wants to get her. She's all about the aesthetic of dressing up the character, and that's a huge part of Tekken's, you know, customization options.
It's part of its identity, really.
Here's the dude that just wants to do cool moves, whether he wins or loses.
I just want to see cool moves, dude.
Right? Yeah. And like, all of these people are having fun in different ways that you totally should be able to, and that are very valid. And then there's the super try hard, the hardcore coming in, right? And it's like the guy who's like, I won the tournament, I'm looking for strong opponents, you're all weak. And he like walks out, and it's like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna show you there's other, that's not all that matters. We can enjoy the game in other ways, dude, but also we're gonna get strong and beat you.
I did that this morning, and I was rolling my eyes, because they're like, hey man, just because you might be better at us at Tekken doesn't mean that we're not just as valuable members of the community. And we're going to show you that playing with the costumes or just seeing cool moves is just as valid. And we're going to show you that by training super fucking hard in the lab and placing in tournaments.
And beating you.
Like the stupidest fucking thing.
Right? But it's the idea of like, oh, well, here comes the gatekeeper. If you encounter this type of person, don't let that discourage you, right? Yeah, and then you spend time going to each different arcade, and they all have their different specialty. And here's the arcade that's all about people that want to show off their characters here's design, and here's people that want to do this or that. And so like that reminds me of like, yeah, again, the Pokemon team going on their adventure, all focused on different things, because in this case, right, many people that are like going to be like, oh, it's all people that are just the same guy that's like, it's all about strength, nothing else matters. And it's like, actually, just having fun with these games is a really fun thing, for fun, for glory, for the shit I do on Get Into Fighting Games, like there's ways to just set little like you can have fun in tons of ways that's not just about like getting top 8, so it's fun to integrate that right into
get top 8 though.
A lot of the
Tekken
things that
there.
I really like about because the little 4 moves that it tells you, like, hey, check out these 4 moves. These are important to your character, and these are like the basis of their play style. What's cool is that it changes with every tutorial. So it like the way it drip feeds it. It also adds like, okay, the reason why this specific move is important is because it's a tornado, and a tornado is a combo extender. And then it goes on to be like, this move is important because it can whiff punish a shit ton of stuff, or it can like just block punish a shit ton. And it like really goes deep into it, but it never feels heavy-handed or like you're getting like it doesn't feel heavy. It feels good. I don't know.
Introduce the concept and demonstrate one example of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and since every single arcade has the specific opponents, they will use I don't know. You learn like a power crush move, and then you fight against an opponent, and they're going to constantly like they're going to constantly be like, you need to use a power crush move to win at this specific arcade.
Yeah, behaviors.
It's good. Yeah. It teaches such good behaviors.
So that was something I first think I saw in Them's Fighting Herds, and then they did it a little bit in Street Fighter 6 World Tour. But here's an opponent who just blocks everything, and you have to learn how to crack that open, right? Work your throws in. Here's an opponent that likes to just be aggressive. What's the way to kind of play around these different play styles is something that's very useful. I opened up my Get Into Fighting Games with this, but an even better educational tool, especially if you've played some Tekken before and you're a little more familiar and you're coming into this with a basis. The fucking replay system.
Incredible, dude.
So good. And
yeah,
this was something that was introduced at the end of Tekken 7 with one of the later updates. And what they basically have, and I put out a little video on it, just breaking it down, is I've asked for a feature for a long time now. I've repeated it all over the place, where it's just like, if we're using, like, especially when Harada's talking about like AI, it's like, if we're using AI to create ghosts and mimic players' play styles, that means we're looking at the moves they do and when they do them, like the shadows in Killer Instinct, for example. It's like, okay, round start, what do you like to do? When you get swept on the ground and you get back up, what do you like to do? What do you like to do when you're in the corner, right? And it actually reads all these things and then creates a profile of a ghost player that fights like you. So if it has all that data, why not take it and actually go, hey, here's somewhere where you actually could have done something better that you might not know about, This game, it actually implements that. My version of it was, after the match, suggest 2 or 3 things and let you go in and try it. Here, you're watching the replay and it'll stop the match and go, by the way, when you block this big explosion, you can actually do a punish. Here's something that you should do, that you can do right afterwards,
I can't believe they actually went through the trouble to include that.
Incredible.
That is complex.
It's honestly
difficult.
Yeah.
And it's so good because it's like, it pauses the game, it tells you, do this after you block this big explosion, and then you can press X to go into like the little training mode menu to like practice blocking and then doing it. Or, and I find this much more realistic and useful, you can do the replay takeover, which lets you take 10 seconds of the replay, and at any point you press a button, you're now in control of this sequence to actually do it in match.
I feel like
you can
part
even
of this,
like, you can like either take control of you, or you can take control of the opponent in the specific moment.
Yeah.
Like so that you can see like literally every fucking possibility of what could happen depending on what you're doing currently. It's impressive. Genuinely fucking crazy.
And you get to see as well that like, so this is the recommended punish, but in the situation that happened in this replay, it was like, oh, I'm fighting against Victor, and he did a version of his explosion with the sword that was in heat, so it made it actually not punishable in the same way. So it's like, the regular version this tip will work, but in the replay takeover, when I tried to do it, I was like, oh, it wouldn't have worked here. So I need to know about that too. So I learned right off of the bat in one replay. And when I often tell people, like, if you can check out your replays, you can see things, right? You can learn from them. This game is making it so that you don't even have to go through you don't have to parse how to watch a replay. It's doing it for you in a way and telling you, here's a moment where you landed a crumple, but you did a very light combo. Here's a better combo you can use, or something simple, you know?
It's really interesting because there's also a function. I mean, these are obviously, someone had to program these in, right? A human being had to write these. These are not automated.
Yeah, they're in there, and they're basically set to, there's 4 categories it breaks down to, which is recommended combos when you have an opportunity, recommended punishes, how to break a throw, that's coming left or right, and moves you can duck under. So so it's not all possible things. It's just those 4 categories, which are pretty big, you know.
But like those are the most broadly applicable. But it also means that like it has to keep the developers a little bit more honest than maybe usual, because if you do your replay and you go, what is the suggested punish for this situation? And the fucking game goes die.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's happened a few times while I was watching my replays. It just pauses at a certain point, and it's like, you're fucked. You're fucked, oh, really? You fucking die here. Yeah. No, sometimes it just like pauses on a moment and just like,
they put you in a bad situation.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. I mean, what it means is basically like, you shouldn't have done that. That's what they're talking about.
The way, so the particular instance that I was describing is one where you can take over and try every possibility and kind of realize there was none. It was checkmate, you know, and confirm it. But the funny part about this, which has become hilarious and toxic online, is when dude's like, nah, it was like, there's, what the fuck was I supposed to do? And then it's like, oh, send me the replay. Let me take a look at that for you. And then and then the better player will go in and drop, I fixed it for you. Here's what you should have done, right? Just to like, and re-upload, like, yeah, I solved your problem. Actually, you were just ass. That's your bad skill issue. And here's your homework showing you, you know, so like you can either use it for educational or fucking toxic purposes. You know, and I love that you get that information just watching. I got that from watching my first replay, you know. Nice. I turned on the options and then I just looked at it, and it's like, I like to personally, like, you know, I like labbing, I like learning and going into and watching a bunch of habits and things like that. I learned so much using these tools from watching one match, you know. And that was what I looked. You can watch the video that I put out about the Tekken 8 replay system and see, like, yeah, we just go through the span of one match and learned like 5 or 6 really important good things about the new character, who's Victor Chevalier, who's just fucking Noctis in cosplay, you know, and teleporting all over the place. He's wild. So you need to learn
people hate me because in Tekken 7, Noctis was my main.
Oh man,
people fucking hate me.
Well, they can hate you now.
Yeah, they can hate me now because I'm now maining fucking Victor. He's
two.
No, come on.
That's what Reggie was doing.
That's
because it's what it is.
Listen, all I'm saying is he's cringe.
It makes sense though, because like Noctis is a character.
Well, because he's French.
I'm French. I'm cringe. We're both cringe.
He's coming in with the Parisian accent though, talking about la puissance.
Yeah, no, it's different.
You know. But the Noctis like bit makes sense because it's like, here's a guest character coming from a very popular franchise, and a lot of people that have never played this game are going to be just playing Noctis for the first time that are Final Fantasy fans. So let's make him really
Let's just adapt that moveset over
and make it really simple and not be something hard to play, right? Similar with Elphelt actually in Strive, when they're like, a lot of people liked Elphelt as a character and her design, but felt her stances and stuff were too complex. So let's just make it a very beginner friendly character, and like Chevalier kind of takes that spot. Did you check out any of the
Dark Awakens? I want to talk about. Listen, I'm not going to spoil anything because I think Dark Awakens, the main like campaign, like following the story of Tekken. I've always loved the story of Tekken for how it's kind of dog shit.
It's
but, like,
batshit crazy.
It's so
it's
stupid.
dog
You
shit,
don't-
but like
you don't
it's
have to mince words.
It's so genuine. It's so fucking real, bro. It's so fun, and the amount of fan service that they crammed into it, like, oh, dude, Tekken 8's campaign, fucking peak.
Hell
it's
yeah.
so fucking fun. It's so crazy.
I've seen some shit and it looks.
I haven't
Looks
seen,
very
I haven't seen
Dragon Ball.
anything yet, but I've heard a lot of people are like, this one's great.
They
I'm really
brought
excited.
back like some music, like that. Like they bring back music from the previous games in
Okay.
the most hype fucking moments, and it's like, bro, they know what they're fucking doing. They are so like, oh,
A couple
it's
people
fucking awesome, bro.
A couple people
It's
have
so
told me
fun.
that it's like it's the fighting game story mode, but like they're actually getting good at it. Is what I've been
Yeah,
told.
it's like they know what they're doing, and it is cheesy, bro.
Perfect.
It's so cheesy.
I'm jumping into that this week for sure.
It's-
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I love too as well. I'm very happy that the arcade mode endings are still as insane as they need to be.
They need to be complete
yeah,
nonsense.
And
I'm
I only
glad
did
that
one.
they went back. I'm actually glad they went back to CG, like proper CG, because I mean Tekken 7, I think had like a lower
the
budget,
visual
probably.
novel
Yeah,
cutscenes.
no. They all the cutscenes were like done in engine.
No,
and they were
fuck that.
Right.
But they were videos, but they were videos done in engine, and it was like not great. Now they're going fucking balls to the wall
Though
again.
the intro cutscenes
awesome.
are pretty like visual novel-y. Like they're kind of sliding
Yeah,
some
it's
PNGs
fine.
around, you know. But yeah, the endings need to be the goofy. Everyone remembers the Tekken 3 and all those classics, right? So
Yeah.
Steve Fox's ending is the only one I saw, and it's exactly what you kind of hope for.
It's so silly. It's so stupid. It's
his
awesome.
his like face is so weird in that game, and I'm like, what is happening with his model? And it's like, this is like I almost want a headcanon that his ending explains why his face looks so weird. It doesn't at all, but he just goes on to become the like multi-class boxing champion, and he goes from, you know, middleweight, welter all the way through the classes, and when it gets time to go to heavy, we gotta fucking get huge. It's huge quest time, you know. And so Paul and Law just walk in on insane Giga Chad Steve,
Like just deformed.
bursting.
Like it's
Hey guys,
Like a Grappler Backy character.
I'm ready. Yes. Kengan Ashura, like fucking absolute backy mode, you know. And I'm like, yeah, Tekken's back. That's it. That's the endings you need. The new characters.
he looks like Buff Riku, I'm not gonna lie.
The new characters, like my main thing for the longest while was, why are we only seeing returning cast? Where's the new? And the three we got, I really like all three of them.
It was gonna take a lot to pull me off of King and Devil Jin, and Reina is like the Tekken character I've wanted to play for like 20 years.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how much you've played with her, but there's a character that she's emulating from a different game. She actually plays a good deal like Ayane from Dead or Alive.
Oh, okay.
Because purple characters can spin through their stances.
Okay.
For some reason.
So I did mess with her enough to get most of it down, and there's the hybrid Mishima stuff. There's the Heihachi moves that are right there, and then there's all the spins and rolling extra stuff from her. I forgot the name of the style. So that's
I don't know.
But that's like
it's-
Ayane.
She's got all the stuff from Heihachi I actually liked to use. And then she has a bunch of Ayane's kicks from DOA.
The rolling lows and the you get the fun of all the electrics. You get her the stuff that Heihachi has too, which is like the 1-1-2 combo or 1-2-2, all those different,
or the 2-2-2-1,
right?
Which is the one I always liked the most from Tekken 3.
You got a lot of basically her.
Oh, hold on, Dead or Alive 6's director was the lead planner on Tekken 8. Okay, so that is intentional.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, it feels almost as if her punch buttons are Heihachi, and the kick buttons
and her kicks are Ayane's.
are the unique ones, right?
She also has like easy wind god fists.
Oh yeah, she's got a couple of those, right? She's got
like
the step version off of Down Forward 2, and then the actual input with the electric, and then like failed electric, true electric, and then when you're in heat mode, you can get the full one.
You get the Kazuya version, basically.
Doria.
And it's just like, do I need the good version? Okay, I'll do the good version.
Yeah.
Do I just want to juggle them one more time? I'll do the baby version with the one button.
Electric Wind God kicks, right? Multiple things out of the step. And then a lot of just attitude in her moves and her command grabs, right? A lot of stuff where you go into just something where she grabs you and does something with attitude. And I'm like, yeah, I like that energy. We said it before, but it's like, it really is a bit of that, like, oh, what if we just went Asuka do-over, right?
But like Heihachi instead of like Jun.
Asuka with Mishima energy instead of Kazama energy, exactly, you know? And I mean, I've seen some people, again, hating on the design, but I'm like, it's simple and it's great and it works.
Well, I fixed that design by giving her a little hat.
Oh, the hat's cute. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I believe I improved on it by taking the jacket off and giving her glasses.
You know,
I gave everybody a low taper fade into a tan. I'm gonna be honest.
So I was messing around with the
Hell yeah.
the character customization, and like, do you unlock more of them later? Because like so much of them is just casual clothes. Like the vast majority of them is just casual wear.
I know you get a bunch from doing Arcade Quest, and then when you do the final round where you're training your ghost, there's a bunch of randomly respawning treasure chest characters that give you the third costumes as well. So I wanted to because like Steve's costume, I hate the new costume. It's like I'm just like not feeling it compared to the other ones.
There's also a rotation. You have to, when you go into like Arcade Quest, there's like the specific ghost, super ghost lobby, and there's a road, like when you beat all of them, you exit and you come back, and then there's another gang with like new treasure chests,
that's what I was what I was just talking about at final round, the where you do the AI training. You can exit and go back in and see them repop. And I was doing it over and over because I was like, please let me find Steve to get him to take his jacket off. You know, and thankfully his third outfit is wonderful, and it's just the fucking long winter bomber jacket, you know, with the casual wear underneath. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I wish that was his default, you know? I'm like, that's a really fun thing too as well. I don't know if you guys messed with Azucena any?
Nah.
Okay.
Not at all.
She's so much fun to just like dance and move, and she's got the vibes, you know. A lot of her she's also fairly quick to pick up, I'd say, you know, like her her basics, a lot of the things that move you into her stance are there's a lot of different ways to get into it, and once she's in that stance, the Libertador, I think, that's where you can get and in Heat you get the counters, right? So if someone throws essentially like a high or a low or a grab at you, it auto dodges and then does like a counter hit, and it's really stylish. And so like you'll probably see a bunch of replays of like her just walking up to somebody like, go on, hit me, go ahead, what you gonna do? And then just completely everyone's swinging and just getting rocked. So for those who don't know, you got to hit her with a mid, right? That's the way you get around it. But it's so intimidating because she can just like from full screen almost heat dash right up in your face, like swing first, you know? And then she's also got like a couple of grabs that are like, you know, takedowns 1+2, high and low. Just a really fun and simple kind of character, and the swag of everything she does is particularly like it's rewarding. It feels good when you do it and you land it, you know?
Yeah, a lot of my friends who are just now getting into fighting games is like we've been telling people like, no, you gotta try Tekken. Like actually, it's a great teaching tool for like fighting games in general with Arcade Quest, and a lot of them are like gravitating towards her specifically. She's like a lot of beginners are really into her play style.
So there was that like the tweet that was going around right on launch was the screenshot of the quick reference screenshot for Jin.
Oh yeah.
And that was becoming that was the discourse, right? And like as someone who got sent that, and people were like, how do you decrypt these moon runes, dude? And it's like, yeah, and if you're a beginner and you see a star, you're not going to know what a star means, right? And I've always thought that personally, that like,
it means pause, idiots.
Yeah,
no, that's not common knowledge.
No, I've always thought that like the star should be just a white dot, and that the arrows could have like the dot included at the back, at the center point, to just kind of make it like, oh, no arrow, right? It's kind of, you can improve the language of that. But that thing was going around as if it were a beginner's reference chart, when it's not. It's made for people who are picking up perhaps Jin for the first time, but are already familiar with what Tekken move lists look like, you know? Because Tekken move lists,
I could use that for Reina right now.
Right. And Tekken move lists, they also, not only do they do things like have a star on them, but they don't say button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4 with just a circle in the number. They actually show you all 4 and then highlight the color of the one that is the, you know, in the D-pad orientation that you'd be expected to play or stick. So it's just like, yeah, this was not meant for that purpose. So when people kind of bounce off of that and like use it as a means of going like, look how impenetrable just the shit is, it's like, this is not the proper context. This is like a community. This is a fan-made image, first of all, that's not, you know, like meant to be like,
it's not like that was going around as like, hey, brand new person to Tekken, here you go. Exactly. And it's not. It's right. Hey, Wooly, do you want to catch up on Jin in about 10 seconds?
Here you
go.
Put
this next to your monitor.
That's it. If I've never played him, or like if I've played other characters, but I want to pick up Reina. Okay, I look at this and go, got it. That's that. So the thing with it too, of course, this conversation just goes on forever. But there was, even when I kind of was explaining that, like, well, Tekken does have a really long move list, and it's always been that way. And
sure does.
And that's, if you're just kind of like completely out of this and you're not even sure where to start or what to go to, it's not the first place I would recommend people to go. But the things they've done have like that are helping, or like they've made the short move list, for example, right?
Yeah,
where here's
the recommended move list. This is what's important to this character.
So when I was learning Tekken 5, when I was learning Tekken 7, when I used to go and play with the community and stuff, that's how it was handled. It's like, hey, there's only about 10 of these moves that you really need to know, and then like the rest are just like part of the extras, right? But all of this is like, what it actually breaks down, and then someone kind of was like, hey, that's patronizing, don't tell, like, if there's an easy mode, and I was like, you can also, there's a modern mode equivalent, which is a button you can toggle on, which I find very useful as well, because it's like, like modern, I like how they implemented that, but in this case, here's another version where it's like, it's on and off at the toggle of a switch in the middle of a match if you'd like it. And you can access it and then go back to the regular setup if you'd like to. So
strangest implementation I could imagine.
And I think the reason why is because it wants to give people the, you know, it's like, don't feel shy to use this when you want to, and then experiment, almost like with having the ability to press the Hadouken button or try to do the motion, you know, like.
Well, the other thing is that it to me, it's like, I mean, Street Fighter 6, we saw a variation where some people were like, the modern version of this character has advantages that nobody else has because of the way their moves were, like modern Zangief, right? Has like the one button 720 is nightmarish, and then, hey, that's not the best for everybody. But this essentially goes, do you want to switch to the version of the character that can do this more easily?
And I believe there's a damage difference. I'm not 100% on that. Someone can confirm, but I do know this. It gives you essentially access to like 4 easy combos or a move that are important. You know, what is I think crucial every time this discussion happens is that when looking at it and going like whether or not this is something that beginners should use, and again, hearing people go like, no, they should just learn like the rest of us and don't be patronizing about these modern modes and stuff. I think it's like there are many different kinds of new players and beginners, right? Some people that are like the people that are already playing Tekken, we all started somewhere, and there's people that are like more willing to take on the unknown. If they don't know what's going on, dive in and they'll see in the move list, oh, here's the 10 key moves. They'll start messing around, they'll start pressing buttons, and they're already learning, right? People that don't know are willing to go find out. They don't need the extra part of it, and so that's fine. They can just discover the game the way we all did. There's some people, however, who are much more nervous about this stuff and do need to be told or reinforced, like, hey, it's where should I start? What should I look at? And if they see something like that, they'll see the chart with the Jin moves and be like, this is kryptonite. I'm afraid of this, and I don't want to interface with it, right?
And then you have a weird third category, which I fall into, in which I've played every Tekken game and I've put thousands of hours into it, but I've never been any good at it at all. And I've almost never played against other people. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Slather me with some tutorial sauce.
I was messing around with Eddie Gordo in the demo disc back in the day, and I kicked my cousin once or twice, and I always loved it, but I never really went that. Yeah, just long time admirer and fan of the playing casually, for sure. And that's all. That's all. There's different types, right? And so it's definitely important to like have things there for people that are nervous or about interfacing or do want to figure that out. I mean, it's the same way kind of people will ask like where to start when getting into a given series or so, or like they're like not 100% sure. So and a whole part of why I do get into fighting games the way I do is to show that it's like you don't have to overthink it. You can definitely just start playing and having fun, but these things can only benefit, you know, giving people these options. It's a really, I'm glad it's there.
One thing that sorry.
No, after you, man.
One thing that I think is really fucking cool though is if you want to dip your toes into like, because I know a lot of people have like struggle with going online and actually like fighting with real people. One thing that I think is really cool is because of the ghosts, like the ghost battles and everything, you can still dip your toes into like play against other people and seeing their play styles without actually having the pressure of going straight online, you know?
Yeah,
a lot of my friends I've been talking to, they were like, well, I'm too scared to go into Tekken Arcade Lounge, but I can just jump in, like fight against like random people online without the pressure of being online and like all the mental blockage from that. It's cool.
Getting different styles of if you're going to play, if you're someone who was going to train against the CPU, getting different styles of CPU certainly is a difference. I remember going back to Virtua Fighter 4, like, you know, there was the ability to go tour and fight against different arcades' best players, you know, and then see the unique styles of that they would play. So like adapting, you know, a particular player style into the computer is like, yeah, there's utility to that as well. There's a limit to it, of course. But the ability to, you know, get better in a low pressure environment, I think, is what's most important to new players.
Yeah. Good game.
I like it. I'm going to play more of it.
I think it's pretty good.
I'm as someone who was definitely like looking at all the new fighting game releases and seeing shit like, you know, 6 came out and was just so fucking stellar, and you know, MK happened. I was definitely like, okay, I'm not sure where Tekken is. I'm hopeful, but I hope the netcode's good, which it works. I hope we get
the netcode is fine.
I hope we get new characters, which we did. You know, and then now we got all these extra features that I just learned about, and you got these ways to learn, and then the story mode's working, and it's like, yeah, this is great. This is great. I'm very happy with it, and it's
fighting games are back from the dead again.
It's just
again.
It's just Steve's jawline. Yeah, how are you playing, by the way, guys? Like, I'm playing on pad.
I'm playing pad.
Yeah, with Tekken.
It's
fingers.
Tekken. Why the fuck would I ever use a stick?
Yeah, I've never been able to play on stick.
I know a lot of arcade kids that would play sticks.
Hey, I have a question about that.
For your electrics.
Are there any 1-4 inputs in the game anymore?
Yeah, there are.
There's a couple.
Yeah. When you're Leroy and you call in Sugar, when you call in the dog, that's 1 + 4.
Okay, because on pad historically, I would always put both punches on R1 and both kicks on R2, and that would cover that. But then there'd be a fringe amount of inputs using 2-3 and 1-4.
Yeah.
And they've decided to go, one of those this time around is a fucking universal command.
Yeah.
So you slap that on the L1.
So I don't know if this would be comfortable for others, but what I recommend and the style that I've gotten used to and that I like a lot is L1 and R1 are left throw and right throw.
You're insane.
Okay, well, that's what I do.
And you've lost your mind.
Oh, sorry, not L1 and R1. Sorry, L1 and L2.
L1, okay.
Excuse me.
That makes a little more sense.
I said the wrong button. L1 and L2 are left throw and right throw. R1 is the heat mechanic. R2 is your rage art, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So the throws are right there, and then my fingers are in Tekken fingers mode, which means I have my wrist up and I'm tapping.
I don't do that. I use my thumb.
Yeah, I just
big fat thumb.
So because I have my fingers in Tekken fingers mode, it makes it a bit easier to do the 1+4 or the 2+3.
That makes sense.
But also it depends on the character, I suppose. But the way like Steve combos work, playing with Tekken fingers makes it so much easier to do like his feints and his 1-2-1s, down forward 1-2-1.
It's all personal preference.
Yeah, but the Tekken fingers is a thing they've called it for a while now because you're treating the pad as if it were like half a stick in a way. Good shit. Anything else notable, Billy? Otherwise, we just passed the baton.
I watched Wonka and it was fucking excellent. I don't know.
Was it?
Oh, you mean the hidden musical?
Yeah, you guys ever talk about musical on here? I fucking love
I talk about musicals by proxy of having a musically obsessed wife.
A couple
who
times.
will show me a musical and I'll be like, you know what, that's pretty good.
No, Wonka is fucking excellent. It's made by the Paddington dude, and it captures a lot of the same like. It's weird how well it captures like the magic of the movies. I hate when people say that, but it's like it feels pretty good. I really liked it.
Chalamet Wonka. I think the only thing I heard about it besides the trailer was just
the trailer's fucking terrible. I'm gonna be honest.
But the thing I saw was just like, hey, we got Hugh Grant for the Oompa Loompas.
Oompa Loompa.
Like,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until he showed up, and I was like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
But then it's just like, and the curse of Peter Dinklage strikes again, where more little people can't get work because they just refuse to actually cast them anymore. Between that and
just shrink them with the computer.
And Snow White, like Dinklage makes like one interview and just fucks over all little people in Hollywood.
No, what happened was that they were going to do that anyway. And then everybody get to lay the blame on Dinklage, including the people doing it.
Okay, well, either way, that's the only bit I caught with Hugh Grant.
That was good.
Okay,
that's it.
Cool,
I don't know. That's it.
No worries.
We don't really talk about anime in my place. Sorry.
No, anime's cringe.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll jump in a little bit because for me.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Tekken 8 was of course a big part of it. Beyond that, Power World, right? Some good.
I am astonished. I saw hey, Wooly's playing Power World. I'm like, oh, cool. And then the next day, I'm like, oh, hey, Wooly's playing Power World again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I felt like going back in a little more. I wanted to see if I could, get a bit more. Yeah, one. I wanted to see if I could get a bit more into the genre, but also, and realistically, it was a day that I was scheduled for originally to do the audiobook for Disco Elysium, and I didn't feel like having a big talking day.
I know what you mean.
I need to kind of rest up and prepare before that type of like book reading stream. So I kind of was like, I kind of just want to have a more like more of what we just did. So I doubled up on it. The clear thing is, if you know the genre, things are going to go a lot faster and a lot smoother. I'm learning about survival games through this game. And with that, I'm like, here's what I kind of know. I know that you take the axe to the trees and you take the pick to the ore. And you know what I mean? And there's like, and then you build your base and you do the stuff. What I definitely was not thinking was like about things like optimal base placement or the range of the circle of your.
You figure that out.
Exactly. Right. So there's a whole bunch of things that like now I know them, but I certainly was just rolling with whatever the game threw at me at the time. It is jank as fuck in early access. There is T-posing galore. There is falling out of world. There is crashes. Non-stop.
Survival games, baby. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, as somebody who's played a good deal of these, Pal World is on the upper echelon of stability on release.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
I've been playing the because there's a Steam version and there's the Game Pass version. They're both different versions for some reason. And the Game Pass version, I was surprised because I'm not paying for it. I knew I wanted to check it out, but I didn't want to. I knew I wouldn't like get super into it.
Okay. You've gotten into
it's weirdly well optimized for what it is. It's like weirdly well polished. I was expecting Ark Survival to evolve, if I'm honest.
Interesting. Okay, because I'm looking at it just going, I guess this is early access, but all I'm seeing is the jank. But I have no frame of reference for the genre.
The reality of that genre for all the moving parts on like an open world and the building and all that causes lots and lots and lots of stuff to break.
Yeah.
Also, I imagine too that like this is a game that has like aggressive like PAL pathing as a major thing that not every
and like people were complaining like, hey, if I put my shit inside my house, the PALs break. This pathing is terrible. I'm like,
you can
I think the PALs pathing is
around.
I think the PALs pathing is actually like shockingly adequate for what you're actually asking to do for this game.
I've seen it fall apart at the most basic of tasks where things will just go right, and then you have to grab them and throw them. But I've also seen it navigate a fairly complex like labyrinth I've created, you know, of things to get around and find out. Oh, the door is here. Get out here. Go to the back and light that thing. You know, so it's very competent sometimes and very jank at others.
Did you guys know that you can actually like throw a PAL sphere at a human and just
sure can.
I did not know, and now I don't have any more pals.
So
the fun part is the human pals are dog shit compared to
they're
pal
bad.
pals.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
So
it's funny.
but you learn the first dark secret of Pal World of like, you can just enslave the person. Right. And then
dude, when you capture one, there's a little message that says, "This shit's illegal, bro. This is
yeah. And then
don't do that."
But then you go to your box
you
and you pull them out and you're like, "Oh, you're useless. You're bad. You can't help me at all.
You can transport. Ooh.
Fuck off." You know, I'd rather get one of those little like Eevee things. They can do way more than you can. But no, so the wall I hit definitely was one of like, oh my God, okay, the mental checklist is so like aggressive if you're not used to this, you know? So it was like there was times where I just had to talk it out loud because I would always be like, okay, here's my objective, here's the things I need to go catch, and here's what I need to unlock to get to the next step of the base. But there would be these steps that are like, we get like 5 degrees obfuscated from the original task, which is
that's about right.
Right. Go get the wool.
Apparently you can sell the humans you capture in a
Of course, dude.
Incredible.
You can sell your pals.
Man, I didn't know you could. I knew you could sell your pals.
Do you line them up?
They're all pals.
Do you line them up on an auction block by any chance?
Oh man.
I haven't seen that feature yet. Anyway.
It always ends back here, doesn't it?
No, and then of course the butcher mechanic.
Power World it does.
The butcher mechanic is there, where you get the fucking cleaver, you know. And then they put out a short of just like a little animated thing of like, oh yeah, we're leaning all the way into it. Here's one of them little sheeps getting cut the fuck up in the cutest way possible.
Haha.
Good for it.
Yeah, I just kind of like, there was a couple of moments of like just the mental stack, you know, to use that term, is like, go find the sheep, to get the wool, to get the cloth, to repair the suit, but also to make the next thing, which is part of the objective, which will allow me to get the crossbow. And I'm like,
yeah. So really, every time you're outside, just scoop up everything you could possibly fucking see.
But then you get too heavy and you can't walk around anymore. So you got to be careful about the scooping up of too many things.
There's some pals that help with that. Just get a pal that helps with that.
Oh, I don't have any. I don't have any beasts of burden yet, I think, for the
Beasts
overworld.
of burden.
No, it's a random skill that some of them can have.
I don't think it's random. I think it's like a specific pal has it.
Okay.
I keep wanting to say Pokemon so bad.
Don't do that. Don't do it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was also quite surprised by the way that dungeons work, which is like there's a timer and then the instance like disappears, you know. And I guess that's again a product of it being like an online environment, right? You can, and I guess because I'm looking around like, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be thinking when it comes to making second bases and stuff, but I took a crack at it, and boy, like, so I did 2 streams, and then I kept playing a bit afterwards on my own, and like I put my second base down in the red area where there's a bunch of ore right behind that Elden Ring church. That's fucking Elden Ring. And like a minute later, I just got like fucking gang rushed by like a bunch of level 21.
I had a very similar thing happen. Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck I'm nowhere near ready for that. And they just annihilated me.
That means you're not ready for that.
Exactly. I was like, okay, got it. Mission accomplished. Shut it down. I then kind of was like, went back to my base, and I started messing around with the thing I didn't do on stream, because I was always just, again, the mental load is a lot. And I want to get better at that, because I can see how organizing and doing this stuff is fun. But I'm also remembering how I got so overwhelmed by like Warcraft 3 back in the day, and just too many tasks is just I can't keep up. So I do want to get better, you know, in this. But I kind of went and set up a bunch of, after placing everything in kind of like ramshackle spots, I went, let me clean this up, organize it, put things close to where they need to be, and then build a nice fortress of wood all around, multi-layered. Got
nice
my bed,
flammable fucking wood.
Got my fucking gates, got the barrier perfectly set up. Here comes the invaders. It's a fucking suicide bomb elk or whatever the fuck that is. Up in flames goes the gate. Up in flames goes the base. Everything sitting on wood is now destroyed. You are now back to 0.
Aww.
Grab your water Pokemon. Try to out the fire. It's not going to work.
Sounds like it's time to learn masonry.
So like 2.5 hours maybe of setting up my wood base, only to hit that and be like
2.5 hours.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Damn.
I set it up, and then I didn't like how organized it was, so then I tore it all down, and then I did it again, you know, to make it more efficient.
Never make it perfect.
Hey, Wooly, I actually genuinely have a piece of advice for you.
I'd love to learn.
If efficiency comes after security.
Okay. So, yeah.
Have you ever played Minecraft?
No.
Like
I played it once to do a block of the day for the block of the day account. And that's the only time I've played it. I've done no games like this, really.
Okay. I was curious, because I was like, that's like rule number 1 after like don't dig down.
Okay. So I think I set it to normal difficulty for those who are asking. And so what I'm like, okay, well, now never put anything on a surface like that. Everything's going to sit on the raw ground where the fire can't catch to it. And I'm just going to create a bunch of wooden gate fences that just block off the places that need blocking, and everything else inside is just, we sleep on the ground. Fuck it, I don't care. You know?
Yeah. Survival.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you guys, like, how do you make better priority list base head objectives go?
That's actually fairly simple. There's 2 things that you actually run in your head. Number 1 is, what is my biggest problem? And 2 is, what is the thing that I want the most?
Yeah.
So for you, Wooly, your largest problem is your entire fucking thing burning down. So you would be looking at gates, fences, or masonry, or defenses.
Yeah.
Right.
Leveling up, getting leveling up to get the new technology that gets you like the nicer structures and shit like that. That's what I would go for.
Now, what about when that stuff is all like, you can spend all your time focused on base improvement and like unlocking all those things, but not enough going out into the world and exploring is happening?
Oh no, you'll have to do it eventually.
You'll have to do it. And also, like, while you're gone, I don't think you can get invasions. I think it's only when you're in the base that invasions happen,
really?
Right?
They only happen when you're there. Okay.
I mean, because I've never had one while I was just out exploring.
Yeah, same.
So I kind of assume that when you're exploring, there's none of that.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people, like how people use like second bases,
That's resource farms.
Yeah, resource farms. You have like basically your main farm, and then the second base is like your resource farm. Because when you're not on that base, you're not going to get invaded, I think.
Okay, that's what I was hoping
I'm
for
not
with
sure.
the ore. Do they
Oh,
share?
never mind. Apparently, they
can.
absolutely can.
Okay.
I'm totally
Oh,
wrong.
now we got two guys on this podcast who are wrong all the time. Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Do the resources share when they're in between bases?
No.
You have to be standing in that circle.
You have to go to them.
Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, what
I do have a trick
there's
for you for that.
Yeah.
If you put a box next to those resources and there's a PAL on in that base with the transport ability, they'll pull shit up off the mining facility to put in the box.
For sure. I set that up to perfect. Yeah, that's the first thing I did was like have the boxes going. I did get raided and then leave, and then the raid ended, and then they came to my first base. So I think they just traveled the entire way, to wreck my shit. I also like fucking started a fight with an over-leveled pal that then when I respawned in my base, it hunted me down and killed me almost immediately.
Oh my god!
I had that fucking woolly mammoth like tear down half my fucking base because I was mining and it got too close to the rocks and I hit it by accident.
Okay. Someone says on normal difficulty you want to go to the options and double the resources.
Yeah, I did that because
to reduce the grind. Okay.
I mean, you just fucking kick it up to whatever the fuck you want.
You can do whatever you want in this game. If you don't like the grind, you can go into custom difficulties and just like make it zero. Grind.
Make it big.
I'm not a fan of grinding, so I wouldn't mind. Certainly, I'm also
a double seemed to be pretty correct to me.
Yeah, and I did build my base on like the cliffside broken church, next to where you start. Seemed tactically like a useful thing. I wasn't thinking about location at all when I built it. I was just like,
you were just like,
following the tutorial. But yeah,
I did it next to the lake, down a little bit.
The beach?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you just go down from that church and there's
lake,
like a little waterfall and a little lake. I thought it would be pretty.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's where I built as well.
Okay.
Apparently, that's where a lot of people build theirs because it's the first big wide open spot.
It's fucking pretty. There's sheep around. Come on.
And I guess wide open seems more vulnerable though, right? Like that's the
not if I build fucking walls.
Defenses, yeah.
Not if you get a gun.
And
I think
ore is also missing from my setup. So yeah.
The best takeaway from this, particularly with you playing it, Wooly, is that there's this like haha Pokemon, but you make them slavery, haha. No, there's a real ass game in there.
Yeah, it's actually it's weirdly in depth and it's weirdly good because I'm gonna be honest, Craftopia kind of stinky. PU.
Yeah, Craftopia was made with sticks and glue.
It does have Unity Asset Gorilla, and that's a banger. I hope that becomes a PAL in PAL world.
A lot of there's so much of it that like because Craftopia was the hey look it's the Breath of the Wild like thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here it's not like they're beating the accusation, like it's so aggressively still Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's very much.
Every tower you look at, every time you float, every time all of that shit.
To me, it's the heat cold indicator being literally exactly the same that makes me laugh.
Or climbing walls and your stamina is going down. Yeah. But no, so I'm in it because I do want to get better at like handling that mental stack, but it feels so overwhelming, and you can see me in the 2 sessions on stream just like kind of like saying it out loud and like and to be fair, Reggie's there too, and he's also like we're both kind of in the deep end on it,
Gotcha.
So there's a bunch of times where I'm like I can't even say anything funny right now because I'm just trying to remember.
You're just locked in.
That's it,
Yeah.
But that's pretty much me. That's it. Tekken 8 and Power World. Pat, I know you had a journey to Hawaii.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna just start right away with an incredibly. I'm gonna describe that I'm up to chapter 4 in Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. I'm only going to talk about storyline wise. Maybe up to chapter 2.
Okay.
Comes out swinging with secret Americans right out the gate.
Let's go.
In America, of all places.
No, in Japan.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Oh,
Like,
nice. The evolution of the secret Koreans bit.
Yeah, and the person who's a secret American, you go, oh yeah, no, yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Right? It's like there's absolutely no like, oh, I can't believe it. You're just like, oh yeah, okay. It is difficult to understate how much they gloss over the events of 7.
Really? Damn.
There's like you have the Ichi has like a little grave to the people who died in 7, and he can pray at it, and it goes, hey man, do you want to reminisce about the events that happened? And you go, yeah, and it just gives you like 5 or 6 lines of text of like the most bare bones things that happened. And then you start playing it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, remember this cutscene from the end of 7?" And I'm like, "Not if I was a new player, I wouldn't."
Oh,
like that. Like you are expected to have played 7. Walking into this,
I mean,
like genuinely.
Most of the Yakuza games are like when it starts out, like you have to have the lore in your skull when you get in. They really put except the Yakuza 7 because
Yes, Yakuza 7 was the clean new break.
So there's specific entry points, is what I've been told, right? As
there's 0 and then there's 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
are the 2 entry points.
Yeah, basically.
The game is also like, I'm very early, and it is already the most absurd it has ever been. But I'm not talking about the zany side stories. I'm talking about the core plot has some it has something in it that is as absurd as the rubber bullet reveal from Full.
I hated that reveal so much. No,
you're stupid. That's the best part of the whole game.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I am not. No. I am so here for it. I'm so here for it.
Man.
So as someone who's just known a bit of 0 and a bit of 7, it feels as if 0 has the absurdity relegated to the side quest dimension.
Mostly. It's actually it's played very straight.
Dead straight serious on the main line, right? But I feel like
very serious.
But I feel like Ichiban's main quest is also absurd.
It is very absurd. So
in 7, so he brings that absurdity to the main line in a way,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So the impetus of the game, I'm going to go through like the generalized like synopsis of like the first chapter, second chapter.
Okay.
Is that, after the events of Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon, Ichi has quit crime and heroing and is now working a regular ass job and is a civilian, and everybody likes him, etc., until a wretched, traitorous, untrustworthy VTuber cancels him. And him and all his buddies lose their jobs.
Wait, like dead ass
Actually
VTuber? Actually VTuber?
Wow.
Absolutely.
How current.
That's fucking awesome.
How contemporary.
Oh,
the VTuber Tatara channel
is this
puts
a real,
out a
is
hit.
This a real VTuber or is it a fake VTuber?
It is a fake VTuber that is based off a real VTuber.
Oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
Okay, so Tatara channel puts out this fucking video about how Ichi is only working his job so he can do secret crimes, and here's a bunch of edited videotapes that make him look fucking guilty as fuck. And he gets canceled and he gets fired, and all his friends get fucking fired, and they're broke. And you walk out of the Hello Work that you work at, and your job changes from Hello Work employee to freelancer, and you get the tutorial prompt from the beginning of 7 teaching you how to root through the garbage to find change.
Oh my god.
And back to the basics where we started.
And it is And then they're looking at this fucking hit piece video and they're looking through the comments, and in the comments you can see avatars of some existing extremely minor characters talking shit about the party, including the guy who works at the movie theater that wears a chicken costume to scare you awake when you're falling asleep watching a movie, is posting Tatara channel is the last bastion of journalism. I can't wait for more.
So, as Yakuza games have always been just like, again, through the lens of someone older, an adult looking at a lot of these stories. Is there a part of this where like VTubers are like getting canceled by a VTuber sounds like the most 2024 shit that is possible, and Ichiban is not a 2024 motherfucker. No,
because he doesn't understand what's happening.
So I'm like, is there a part of this where he's like, what is even this?
He gets accosted by drama YouTubers outside his house. Who are like filming him with their phones and trying to instigate him. Fuck. And when he slaps one of their phones, they're like, "Oh, edit that. We can get 5 million views on it tomorrow." And then when the fight's about to start, they bring in a different guy who's the bodyguard that they hired to defend them, and that guy is a real YouTube boxer who scanned himself in and acted himself out for the game.
Man.
That fucking rocks.
Well, I'm thinking
so sick.
Like influencer just showing up and being annoying in World Tour.
Weak.
Was like, ain't got shit on this, man. Wow. Goddamn. Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. The game is it's fully into the clown dimension. And Kiryu's involvement in the party further cements it in the clown dimension, because now you get to see how Kiryu handles problems from like one step backwards, in which they'll deal with their problems in the fire and ice methods. Kei-san has fulfilled every dream that she ever had. As she appears in game as a like voiced character as a lady named Kay from Georgia who's in love with Kiryu and texts you about Kiryu all the time.
Is Kiryu kind of like Pliskening his way in the background?
Kiryu,
Sons of Liberty style?
Kiryu's Pliskening. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Okay.
I went a little bit into some of the mini games. There's a Crazy Eats, which is Uber Eats but Crazy Taxi. In which they have to explain that you actually don't get paid anything but tips, so get out there and rush your ass off.
Yeah,
fuck.
And there is a dating mini game called Mismatch, in which you have to pay a huge subscription cost in order to be able to message girls. And then you have to play a mini game in which you have to do a micro dating in order to set up a real life in-person date, in which most of them are old dudes or homeless guys or chickens. So like most of them catfish you, but a couple of them are models that did promotional videos for the game. It's amazing. Everything about the gameplay is way better. You can now fucking move around while fighting to get good positioning.
Oh, okay. In the RPG system, yeah, okay.
And of specific note is the incredible quality of the localization. It is probably up there for the best localized game I have ever seen, because of the incredible difficulty of the strangeness of the setting they're dealing with. You are dealing with characters who do not speak English going to a location in which everyone speaks English in English, and you have to get across how many times they don't speak English or do speak English or don't. And there are scenes that don't make sense or wouldn't,
Okay.
because like, you know, you deal with cops.
Yeah.
And the cops there, well, the cop I'm talking to just speaks Japanese. But every now and then, despite them doing their best, there are moments of like genuine localized genius.
Okay.
And one of which I will relay. So early on, Ichi can't figure out how to get a cab because he doesn't speak any English, right? And he's in Hawaii. So he starts walking up to cabs with his fucking phone out with Google Translate up that says, do you speak Japanese? And you do a little thing where you go from cab to cab to try and find somebody who can actually talk to him. And so eventually you do find a guy, a native Hawaiian guy there, and he is going, oh yeah, I totally speak Japanese. Come on, get in. I'll take you wherever you need to go. This guy attempts to rob you because he's an asshole. And this is your first day in America. So he immediately tries to rob you at gunpoint. You beat the piss out of him because you're the main character of a Like a Dragon game. At which point he sees a couple of cops behind you and goes, oh, shame you're going to jail for robbing my cab. So in the original version, the localized version, the actor goes from speaking Japanese to Ichi to speaking English to the cops and goes, this guy just tried to rob my fucking cab. And then the cops respond in English and you start getting arrested.
Okay.
That scene wouldn't make any sense if everyone could speak English.
Right.
So what they do is have the cab driver go from talking like some regular American jackass to putting on a fake racist ass Asian American accent and running at the cops and going, oh, help, I can barely speak English. This guy, he tried to rob me, to go along with his mannerisms. And then Ichi doesn't have enough time to explain. Like there's tons and tons of situations. I'm not doing the accent. Fuck you people. There's tons and tons of situations
and then you aborted.
Where they have to like workshop their way around the situation. Despite the fact that Hawaii was picked as a location because it has a large Japanese-speaking population.
Okay, so he made the scene seem like we both speak Japanese and I barely speak English, and you guys come help me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it took a second. Okay, gotcha.
Because the
and then
whole
Ichiban's
scene
just
has to change its context because of the language barrier.
Right. Okay. He switches, and when he makes the switch, that's treated as the moment. Gotcha. Okay. Because I was gonna say like, do they? Because sometimes, you know, some movies or shows will just like not make any attempt to distinguish.
No, it's actually like a big deal that like your main cast does not speak the primary language of the place you're at.
Sometimes they'll subtitle and go like, oh well, they're speaking English and you're hearing the dub, but now it's subtitled to indicate this is in another language. You will also
see, there's dialogue in brackets.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Is to tell you. The characters can't understand it.
Right. Okay, this is happening in English. Yeah, perfect.
But yeah, it's stellar. It's also stupidly gigantic. I have streamed this game for 3 days in a row, and I do not have a fourth party member or have touched the job system even once.
Whoa.
I mean, didn't they say it was like 100 hours just for the main fucking story or something?
I was talking to Gene about it, and he was telling me that Runebee, she's been streaming it. She's been streaming just the Animal Crossing island. I forget what it's called, Dodongpa Island or something like that. Yeah. For like a full fucking week, because it's like a full game just jammed in there.
Whoa.
That's horrifying. That's too fucking much,
Christ.
man.
Okay.
And that's not even. And I think the funniest part is that, like, you know, we've been talking about all the Power World discourse, but then I got to the fucking Sujimon sensei, and he's telling me how I have to be the very best and travel to Hawaii underneath the sun and moon so I can catch all the best Sujimon around.
Underneath the sun and moon.
Like,
yes, that's right.
Is Sujimon also like its own game, like worth of content?
Oh, yeah, because you'll eventually unlock the Sujimon job class, and the Sujimon job class is unique in that it uses captured Sujimon as playable fighters.
and
then there's a
Pound
bar
mates.
in your pause menu for the Sujimon League.
Oh my god. Have you the Pound Mate collection stuff is still going on
still
as well?
there.
Like because I saw a bunch of the cameos, like Alex Mukala and stuff in there. Yeah, and I guess just like, are you running around open to Hawaii at this point?
Yeah.
How's that?
It's incredibly strange because Gene was in my chat for most of these. That'd be Gene Park of Washington Post. And the entirety of Infinite Wealth's Hawaii section takes place in the neighborhood that he used to live.
Mm-hmm.
And you can like go see his apartment. And like I went to like a clothes shop and he's like, my mom used to work there.
Oh wow! So it's like real accurate.
Oh yeah, no, it's a real neighborhood that has just been transplanted onto the game world.
Yeah, no, dude,
that's so fucking cool, dude. I love that.
Dude is just like, oh yeah, that's where you can go to get drugs, like that. Like,
we had a whole fucking there was an extremely strange series of interactions in which I showed up and I got to the airport in game, and some guy in my chat was like, hey man, my apartment's on the other side, turn around.
Wow.
And like some Hawaiians are chatting, at which point Gene points out, hey, you know what? I looked up my old buddy Mike from the back in the day, and apparently he got arrested for running a criminal conspiracy.
That's fucking sick.
And then I look down and people are going, wait, you knew Mike?
What?
Also,
they knew Mike. Everybody knows Mike, apparently.
Okay,
that's fucking awesome. Shout out to Mike.
Incredible. Or I mean, from prison, I guess, But also,
he's watching.
Also, maybe don't dox yourself in game where you're like, oh yeah, that's where I am right now.
Oh, that was ages ago. That was decades ago.
Oh, where he moved. Oh, where he used to live. Okay,
this is Hawaii. He's in DC now.
No, I thought the person in your chat was saying,
whatever.
Okay, well, I don't know. If you're like, oh yeah, that's where I live. I'm right there. It's like, oh, okay, well, there you are. Yeah. People
don't live in the public eye like we do, man. It's different. It's different for some regular guy.
Well, I'm just extra always paranoid and thinking about that, so fair enough. But I mean, it is kind of funny to be like, yeah, well, come see me, say what's up, I'm right here.
But yeah, no, the game's incredible. It runs well, it plays well, it sounds great. It's already like drowning in extra content. It's the funniest of them all. Like it's fully into the farthest reaches of the clownish dimension.
Is there any
Sorry, after you.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask if because I know like George Takei was in the dub for 7. Were there any other like kind of guest voice actors?
You mean like Daniel Day Kim and Danny Trejo?
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, wait, I heard about Danny Trejo. That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
So you want to hear the absolute strangest thing about Daniel Day Kim in the game? The character he plays does not look like Daniel Day Kim. And there is a different guy who he does not voice, who uses his body and face. So Daniel Day Kim's voice and likeness are in the game, but they're separated between two characters.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't.
And everyone else is matching their as an actor. Like, oh, what?
It's so weird.
Did they like
Death Stranding Conan O'Brien vibes?
Did they like change their minds or like? Yeah,
I don't know. It's got to be some kind of because like the character he plays, the character that he voice acts is very important.
Okay.
But I think that guy looks like his Japanese actor.
So you can't even like properly run the full Dr. Han bit.
Oh no, we ran the full Dr. Han bit.
Over the voice or over the model?
It does. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, game's incredible. Game's super amazing.
Cool.
Not much else to say about that without getting into minor spoilers.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate that.
You know what? I will say one thing. Kiryu does reveal very early that he has cancer, which has been part of the promotional material.
Headphones off.
His story about getting cancer is the most absurd thing the series has ever had.
Okay. That sounds appropriate. Like for something that big.
It is like
okay.
There was a really obvious and simple explanation, and they decided to go for cartoon shit.
Great. Wouldn't have it any other way. Okay.
I think that's it for me. I'm not sure. I'll probably remember something at a later time that I should go, this. But for now, yeah, that's it. If you want to check out more Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, go down to twitch.tv/PatStaresAt.
Cool. Yeah. So meanwhile, over on Wooly Versus on YouTube and on Twitch, this week we're gonna be coming back to. Here, let me just pull it up real quick. Yeah. So we're gonna be starting the Tekken 8 story mode.
I'm shocked.
Diving in to see what's going on with that. I can't wait to see how Jin the Hero saves the world.
He's gonna do it.
On
such a big hero.
Then on Wednesday, Sacred and Terrible Air, the Disco Elysium book. We're gonna continue going through that. I don't know if I'll finish it in that session, but I'll give it my shot. I know that we're close to the end, so come through for that. On Thursday, I'm going to be starting a new short LP. It should be doable in a couple sessions, but you know what? I think it's a decent time as any to take a crack at this Half-Life 2. I'm gonna go play Half-Life 2, the original.
Half-Life 2 has like the strangest feel all these years later. It's so weird.
It feels I don't even.
It's got the Evangelion thing going on.
I feel like I'm stepping on eggshells if I say anything.
Okay.
It has the Evangelion thing going on where you're like, it's a really primitive thing of this trope. And you're like, oh, because it invented it.
It made the trope. That's the thing.
Gotcha.
It feels like it aged, but also it's the one that made it.
Okay.
Like, you know,
you get to play it and then be mad about how Valve doesn't make games anymore.
Yeah.
I only played the first one a while ago on the channel, so I have no expectations for what it's worth. Like, I'm not set up to, shake a stick at anything. But yeah, so at a glance, it seems as if, it says like, main story 13 and then completionist about 20 hours. So I know that I have my Wooly filter on that, but I'm hoping maybe 5 sessions, or so could get that down. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And I kind of wanted to have a slot to do some shorter things before like throwing a big long Yakuza is pretty long, so before throwing a big
sure is
RPG style game back up in there. So yeah, we're gonna do some Half-Life 2. I'm not gonna do the mods or any of the extra versions or anything. I'm just gonna play the original that apparently has been updated when Steam Deck came out. So yeah, I'll just run it that way.
Does that include the episodes?
Just the original game.
I think you need to still buy the episodes separately and like run them separately.
And
wait, who doesn't have those by default off of like some Steam sale from 30 minutes ago?
I mean, they're probably in a humble bundle from years ago that I bought and never opened.
No. They usually Valve sells like all those games for like
a pack or whatever.
$5.
Okay.
It's crazy how cheap.
Yeah, like there was a moment a couple of years ago they were like Portal 1 is free, and I'm like, who the fuck doesn't own Portal 1 for free?
Oh yeah, Orange Box. Yeah. I own Orange Box.
Oh, Orange Box. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Does so the episodes they come after you play the main game, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You just like after you finish, you go into episode 1, episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess depending on how long they are, if they're doable.
They're shorter, but combined they kind of make another Half-Life 2.
Okay, that's why. Because when people were going like LOL short, I was like, that 20 doesn't seem that bad. But if you're thinking plus the episodes, yeah, maybe I'll wait for the episodes then. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So gonna do that. I'm gonna go for the mouse and keyboard setup again. I'm gonna give it a little shot. It's not ultra kill, so it might be a little bit, it might be a bit more manageable. And
I like how after our discussion about Ultra Kill a few weeks ago, the very next day, a bunch of changes showed up in Ultra Kill about keybinds.
Awesome. And I mean, and Hitchhikers been talking about to me about like how to figure out some of the Ultra Kill stuff with the controls. But I'm sure people have a million questions about how this is going to go and what it's going to be and what my experience is going to be. And all I'll tell you is I'm just playing the original version of the game. I'm going to play it with a mouse and a keyboard unless that provides to be a humongous issue, in which case I'll switch to a controller.
I believe it does have native controls.
Oh man, no Yassified Alex mod? What the hell?
And they
are you
improved
doing?
it apparently is what I've heard, again with the Steam Deck update. And and anything as far as episodes or Alex or any of the other stuff goes,
Alex is a whole endeavor.
Yeah, but one step at a time. One step at a time. We're just going to play Half-Life 2. That's all I'm going to talk about for now, and then we'll figure out everything afterwards. This is also meant to be a bit of an interim to, again, play a couple shorter things instead of going like Final Fantasy, fucking in a million episode game, So, jumping into that. And then on Friday, we're going to have a sponsored stream for Persona 3 Reload. So tune in for that as well. Going to check out the first bit of that game and have a good time with default main character Minato Arisato.
Oh, you're doing that.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
I'm going to be punching in Makoto Yuki. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to go with
punching in Roger.
Oh, yeah?
Roger Nothing. Yeah.
Roger Nothing. That's great.
Sick.
Just Roger.
Sick. Perfect. Love it. All right. Let's take a quick break and we'll BRB.
See you soon.
right, there we are. Billy, your plugs.
Oh yeah, wait, before we get back, Pat, did you wash your hands?
Yes, I did.
Let me smell them. Let me smell your hands. Let me put them up. Put them up. You pass.
Yeah. You do this a lot?
Sniffing men's hands. Oh yeah.
This is like you've somehow made "let me smell your fingers" more nefarious.
Snoof.
How is it nefarious? I want to know if you wash your hands after you piss.
Hey, Billy, tell Boo I said what's up.
What? What? I don't get that. What are you talking about?
Hand sniffing. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
Bro, don't bring my husband up like that. That's so fucking weird. It's like non-professional. We're on stream as well.
Oh my
That's
god.
So
Oh my
strange.
god. Just like right in front of every. I'm sorry. I didn't.
In front of like how many 2,000
You know what?
people?
Let's go back to the racist sister. That's actually the better.
Let me drop some more. No, I don't think I want to drop some more. I don't think I can say more shit that she said. Anyways, my plugs. I have like 4 podcasts. They're all under the PSD umbrella. The main channel is Please Stop Talking. Please Stop Talking is our main comedy show. Press Start Turbo is our video game show, which is coming out on Wednesday, and Wooly actually is going to be on that episode where we talk about his decade-long decade. Was it a decade?
It was about.
QA?
It was.
It was a minute.
It was a while. It was not a full decade.
Yeah.
It was a decade.
Okay.
No, I've been on YouTube for over a decade. QA was less than a decade, but
okay.
Yeah.
Either way, you come on and we have a talk about like what actually is QA
Bullshit.
and like what
Unemployed.
actually
currently getting
all that stuff.
Currently getting the tutorial for how to pick cans out of the fucking trash. Apparently.
And I have another show called Pondering Spooky Tapes where we look at horror movies, and one last show called Perilous Storytelling, which is our D&D show that it's our D&D show that I edit like an audiobook with like sound effects, and I wrote the soundtrack for it. And I also have some of my friends like Cicada Sirens, the Signalis composer, who wrote a few songs for that. It's pretty decent, I think.
Have you noticed the theme of PST for all of the titles?
I already said that.
But it's an East Coast podcast network.
Appropriating, what can you do?
There you go.
So before we go any further, I did remember something that happened. I remembered that I have a baby story to tell because I have a small human that lives in my house that looks like me. So first of all, hey man, you know when they grab a rattle or like a toy and you're like, they're grabbing it and they're like, yeah, I'm playing with toys now. You're like, amazing. What people don't tell you is that immediately following that is they gain the upper body strength to swing the rattle hard enough to hurt you.
Oh. Oh, we're already
Fucking
there.
Strength.
That little bastard
Hitboxes.
fucking smacked me in the face with his rattle hard enough that I was like, oh.
Disjointed hitboxes now exist. Let's go.
I love him. He's so cute. He's because he'll grab it and his arms are like they're not very coordinated. So they're just kind of going all over the place. And sometimes I'm in the way.
So a 1 popped up instead of a 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more importantly, so our tiny little adorable baby, who is the best baby in the world and the smartest, he's going to be a doctor or an astronaut or some shit. He loved taking baths in the sink, but he's not a fan of taking baths in the bathtub. In fact, he is a big not fan, but he's too big for the sink, right? When they're a tiny little baby, fit in the sink, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's like a real baby. You got to put him in the bathtub, right? Hates it. Will fight you. Which is the only time my tiny child is not the chillest, cutest guy in the world is when it's bath time. Mm-hmm. So we told our doula about this. And so our doula says, hey, you know what I got? I got a tiny little baby bathtub bucket. It's a little bucket specifically made for little baby bath time. It's basically just like the size of the baby, and you just put them in and you fill it with water, and then you throw the soap in there and you kind of smush them around. It's kind of like a little baby washing machine.
Okay.
Right?
Oh.
And he's not a big fan, but like he likes it better than the bathtub, right?
Is it like a cozier fit?
Yeah, it's basically he sits in it.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's just slightly wider than him, right? And so yesterday he needed bath time because it's bath time, and he had a bunch of neurons connect in his fucking head for the first time ever, and he decided that he could physically stop us from giving him bath time.
He might be too smart. What the hell?
Because he figured out that if he stretches his legs all the way out and doesn't bend his knees and grabs the edges of it with his hands, that I can't actually get him in there and to start bath time.
Okay.
And me and Paige were like, well, poke his knees, or like maybe if we push him. And I'm like, honey, if I can get this baby in here, but I cannot get this baby in here in one piece. This baby he's not going to do it. And he beat us.
From object permanence to eminent domain.
He beat us. So
wow.
he got like a sponge down instead. And we're going right back to the bathtub now. It's not,
and what about the
baby bath bucket?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just give it back.
Okay.
It was lent to us by our doula.
I guess I feel
he's
like
too smart.
Well,
he's too smart, and that's why he's going to be a surgeon or a super lawyer or an astronaut.
All of the above. Why dream short, right?
Fuck off.
There's that dude that literally is all three. That was like
he didn't. Oh, that wasn't on purpose. Okay.
There's literally a dude that was like a Navy SEAL, astronaut, and doctor, and it was just like, what? Yeah, sure, man. That dude is wild. No, I feel as if multiple friends I have that are trying stuff out baby-wise, like it seems like, yeah, there's a bunch of tools that may or may not work, and if it doesn't work, but
every baby's different.
Yeah, so you might just have a room of like shit that didn't click, and if there were gifts or things like that, it's like,
so like some babies are like, give me that food, right? Give me food. I want food now, right? Mm-hmm. Other babies, I don't give a shit about food. Mama, only mom, right? I was talking to my mom on the phone and found out that my dad and sister started fully walking at 9 months old. And I'm like, I don't want that. That's too far, too fast. I'm not ready for that.
Slow it down. He starts walking and you shove him down. Like, nah, you stay down there a little longer.
No, we're gonna practice more crawling. Is what we're gonna do.
Paige looks away and you just kind of like just hit the kneecap a bit, just get him down there. It's like, back down. Oh, look at that. Hey.
I also found out talking to my mom, I never crawled once. Never. I learned to stand first.
What? From immobility straight to standing.
From totally immobile to standing. And then at 1 month and, at 1 year and a month, or 1 year, 2 months or something, I went to walking. Refused to crawl. Refused. But she explained to me that I drove her fucking crazy because all I could do was stand up. I couldn't sit back down. So she'd put me down in my crib and I'd fucking drag myself to a standing position in the middle of the night and then freak out because I didn't know how to get back down. So she'd have to come in and just pick me up and just literally lay me down.
At least you don't have that problem anymore.
I can walk.
As far as we know. Okay, so maybe not a sequence break. Weird.
It's a new adventure every day.
All right.
Babies are cool, man. They're weird.
No, I like the idea of slowly determining his destiny and overpowering the situation. Learning that, no, I don't want this, actually.
No, I'm not going to do it.
It's a powerful
I'm not going to do it. No.
It's a powerful step.
I also, so Here's a fun one that I didn't know, but apparently everybody knows but me. Did you know that babies hate it when you sit down?
When you sit down?
They hate it.
Next to them?
Like,
or
no,
at
No,
all?
when you're holding
in
them.
proximity. When you're holding them.
When you're holding them, babies calm down if you're standing, but they freak out if you're sitting.
Okay, so is it because like the whole rocking and standing and stepping motion emulates the feeling of being in the stomach? And
no, it's just standing. Like literally, I ran a series of tests. Okay, because what I would do is I'd get back in the recliner and I would hold the baby all the way over my head so that he'd be the same height as where he'd be if I was standing, right? No, still mad. No, I have to be on my fucking feet. Or Paige has to be on her feet. It's the only way. So when baby's upset, no sitting down. No, not allowed.
Fuck that.
And
I'm
so you're like
down.
So you're like, oh, I'm so fucking tired. Oh my God. Oh, I'm just gonna sit for a second. Oh, you don't care for that. Oh, you're not chill with that? Oh, okay, back to my feet it is. I'm sorry, sir.
If I'm holding a baby and I sit down and it starts getting upset because I'm sitting down, I'm pressing that soft spot, dude. I ain't doing that.
Oh, don't touch the soft spot. It's the grossest thing in the world. You know it pulses, right?
What, have you been fucking touching that? What do you know that?
It's the top of your baby's head. You kissed your baby and touched your baby's head at like 100 times a day.
I guess that's fair.
It's your little man. It's your tiny little perfect version of you before all that shit happened that fucked you up and got you on this podcast.
I just call it the reset button.
Billy, you remember the version of
you came out hot with the bathrooms talk. That's
Billy, do you remember that version of you that existed before all that shit happened? Imagine that was right in front of you. And it was the cutest thing in the world.
Okay.
No. If I saw my own self as a baby, I'd fucking stop that before it got any worse.
Yeah, I used to talk like that.
I can't have babies anyways. It's good.
And then your dick
gay.
don't work?
No, I'm gay, dude.
Gays can have babies.
Oh, it's not the same. It can't be a little guy.
Well, it's a little
I guess
different.
It could.
It's a little different.
A little different. A little different. Oh.
Great. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, there's maybe a step or two extra.
Too many steps.
Yeah.
Too many steps.
I'm
just gonna spoil my sister's kid. That's it. I'm gonna make.
Well,
it
sounds like he needs it.
Oh God, I'm gonna make that kid anti-racist. Just like fucking. What's the opposite of racism? Acceptance.
Just being chill.
Tolerance. I don't fucking.
Tolerance. That's the one.
Sure. I'm gonna make that baby.
Hey, I just saw you look on your face, Wooly. I agree. I never liked the term tolerance either.
Oh, actually, you're right. Tolerance. I had a moment. You're totally right.
Anti-racism thing's a little overrated, if you ask me.
Oh.
Wooly, in a fucking perfect future in which everyone gets along, you'd lose all your powers.
Wooly's just scared that
I will never be a memory. I'll find a way somehow. No one ever really dies.
This fucking motherfucking member of racism Strega going, we have to keep the midnight hour going so that I keep my fucking magic powers.
There will always be a me. No, I appreciate the rolling bit in progress.
Every single day.
Let's get into the news.
You're fucking fired.
Yep. All of it. Every one of y'all.
You're fired, and you're fired, and you're fired.
So originally, it was Rocksteady was No, wait, not that one.
Oh, we're jumping the gun. They're not
no,
fired
no,
yet.
No.
They got at least 6 more months before that studio gets shut down.
Originally, it was Microsoft laid off nearly 2,000 people from its gaming division.
Yeah.
About 8% or so. And yeah, the shout outs to the fucking catch and slaughter that is these acquisitions into just cleansing out. Again, another week, another layoff story. It's
there's a funny
every single episode from the start of the year.
There's a funny tweet / image going around of Microsoft going, "Hey, we just bought a new company. Oh, but now we have we have too many employees. Let's fire a bunch of them. Hey, we don't have enough staff to make our big AAA video games. Let's buy more staff to make AAA video games. Oh, wait, we have too much staff. Fire them." Like, they literally just buy up companies to fire people and then complain they don't have enough people. Look at Halo. Halo is on a proprietary weirdo engine, and it's running on like contractors that they just keep rotating out.
I mean, it's Microsoft, Active, Blizzard, King, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, all of that while again, Kotick gets the fuck out there with the
$400 million
with the golden jetpack,
But we've identified redundancies.
So yeah, butcher's knife. Select butcher's knife. Select your pal that you company, and that's it.
It's like cutting off your nose to pay your ass.
And so that's basically where that started, and then they went into some further details of which parts were affected, particularly in Blizzard. And then that just kind of
cancel that game, cancel that survival game,
and that just rolled right on through to this morning. Eidos Montreal, Embracer Group, they canceled a Deus Ex game that was in development for 2 years and laid off
cancel it
97 staff. And that one is literally close to home. Like, not only is that in the city here, that's the company I used to work at.
Just throw it away.
Chucked and tossed. So, Asano was kind of mentioning that, like, I don't know where Deus Ex is at, but like, Human Revolution was like the soft
nowhere
reboot,
now,
and then Mankind Divided was like a soft reboot again, and that like it was what do you even do with this franchise? Like, does it just get does it wind up being acquired by anyone who's picking up the remains of everything Embracer Group is burning down at the moment?
Well, I mean, they still own Deus Ex. It's just they cancel the game.
Yeah, no, it's
not until they're fired.
So, it went from being when Eidos was the Square Enix property and such. Like, it's one of these bits where they, I'm sure they'd love to be independent and and have the ability to do that, but that clearly was not a possibility. And when they just kind of got rolled up with everything else Embracer Group got. And then the apparently the middleman deal fell through, that they were supposed to rely on all this funding from an outside source that was going to take on and pay for all these acquisitions, and then that fell through. So now everything that they did end up buying is just getting gutted to fucking death.
Hey, is this making us money right now? Well, no, but game development, cancel it. You're fired. No more money. Is how almost every single one of these is going.
Our shit fucked up here behind the scenes, so that just rolls through. And congratulations, you just got acquired by incompetence. That's now fucking.
It's really
firing
weird
everybody.
seeing. It's really weird seeing the PR spin that they did on the acquisitions and everything. Because I swear to God, when I was on Twitter and I was looking at like people's reactions to when Embracer. Or not Embracer. I'm talking specifically about the Microsoft stuff. Like, people were talking about like, oh, this is awesome. They own Activision now. We're gonna get Call of Duty on the Game Pass.
Welcome home, the big video. Like, welcome home, everybody, all together.
It never ends well.
Oh, it's because they're fucking stupid.
It's like, but they are really like. The PR people are really good at spinning these acquisitions as being like the best thing for gamers.
How good they are at it, because like there's only so much spin you can put. Like, sure, yeah, a bunch of fucking idiots on social media will fall for it because they're fucking morons and they don't
have to try very hard they don't have to try very hard when people are just waiting to see Master Chief and go, yeah, there he is.
I guess that's fair, but like I think for most people, like for the common gamer, like, because we do look at gaming news a lot and all that stuff, and we do see like the industry
following the
in a different way. When you don't really follow the industry and you just see, oh, Xbox bought Activision and Xbox owned Game Pass, Activision owned Call of Duty. Call of Duty on the Game Pass. Woo! But it's never.
Except Call of Duty didn't go on the Game Pass.
Yeah.
Which is the funniest part, because that was supposed to be the big benefit.
Yep.
And you know, and I mean, that's the thing is too, is like, because like there are lots of people that can follow like game releases and such, but not necessarily catch on to or give a fuck about like things like acquisitions, firings, sexual assault cases, fucking unions, all these things that happen in the background. Like, you know, that's why all the more reason to kind of cover it and like, you know, get into that shit, because it's like it affects what is going to happen when that trailer drops or doesn't drop and all that shit. You know, if you're,
I think the stupidest thing about all this is that we've gone through like a record number of acquisitions, and the result of every single one of them, they're like, oh, this will allow us to synergize our fucking right, and then they mold the company together, and then they just cancel most of everything, and then they just keep making the same shit they did before. And even from hey, you're evil and you want them all the money in the world, like, how does that even make you any more money? How does just not putting things out for people to buy somehow make you more money?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tale as old as the industry itself. Like it's just the only difference is now in this decade, it's no longer EA acquiring and killing everything off. You know, the names have changed slightly, but it's the exact same practice as a decade ago. It's not even done with Microsoft or the Embracer Group news. THQ Nordic also had so Black Forest Games, the folks behind Destroy All Humans, had to cut 50% of its employees, so they fired half the company.
What was that?
It's another Embracer Group subsidiary.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that one yet. I'm guessing, like, I mean, because obviously the big one is right now. Yeah.
I mean, the Embracer news is just going to keep rolling because
it's never going to stop.
I don't understand, because they're like chopping like a company completely in half, and like the project that company's working on is never going to see the light of day. So why not just fucking gut the whole fucking thing right away? I don't get it. Why keep on half the company so that you can kill it later? Must be some tax bullshit.
The location of a given company in this specific. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think the people that are still there are people that might be in. Because I saw something about like a lot of workers that in the games industry that were part of the companies that had mass layoffs and that were in unions. They did not get shafted.
With the
that's very few, right?
With the Blizzard
story. Very few video
it's
game unions.
Yeah,
the work at home particular ones.
Yes, when a union member is when there's going to be firings of union members, they know in advance they have to be told in advance before getting fired. And I think, from what I remember reading, I don't think anybody who was part of a union actually got an email. So I think the people who were in unions might have been protected because they don't want to deal with that stuff. I'm not 100% sure. Like this is just from like
I heard
what I've read and seen around.
Yeah, similarly, that's what I heard as well, and that there might have been a case or so that that seemed to be an exception, but it seems like the person was not a member. They had applied but didn't actually.
They didn't get approval
or something.
That being said, all of this has like an underlying cause, which is like the U.S. is no longer allowing like nearly debt-free loans for businesses. Like the pandemic, free money from the banks is over. and it's wider than games. It's like the entire tech industry. We're coasting on free loans of like, well, we don't need to know how to make any money. We'll make the company and make the company successful, and then we'll figure out how to make money because we get infinite financing from the bank. And now that free financing is done, and they still haven't figured out how to make money. So the only thing they can do today is just fire as many people as it takes to make the number go up.
Now the thing is, and what I was about to say before too, is that like though the bit you were talking about with the tax breaks or whatever the case is, like there's always specific things to certain countries, and yeah, Embracer Group being in Sweden, there's always the possibility that there's some sort of Swedish tax law or something like that affects this as well, right? It's not just the U.S. side of the equation. Well, that applies to Microsoft and Acta Blizzard King certainly, but there's always one of those things too behind it, where like yeah, there's a legal change or a legal thing occurring behind the scenes that then kickstarts the entire snowball effect. So cool, infinite growth, no problems, good shit.
Numbers. Hey, listen,
Healthy, this is sustainable,
healthy
guys.
industry, sustainable, healthy industry.
Listen. If you look at this graph, you'll see that disco records have doubled in sales every year up until 1976.
No
if this
way.
trend continues, then
Line go up.
So we've seen a lot of short-sighted like corporate business people things, but I think I've seen this like every time it came up. But like I can't believe the game industry specifically looked at a period of time in which you were legally barred from leaving your house because the plague was outside and went, wow, we're selling a lot of video games, and went, that's gonna just continue forever. Like just
it's
business protection, and
it's so short-sighted. Like it's always super short-sighted.
Yeah. So hey, that's every episode of the year so far, and let's see how this goes. Let's see if this continues all the way through. I get the feeling it ain't stopping anytime soon. That's 3 for 1 this week in particular. Okay. Next bit, not even so much to say or get into, just Vince McMahon fucking details coming out about the lawsuit that was raised against him that have been the details have come out. Fucking insane psycho monster rapist who literally physically defecated on his rape victims.
But more importantly is the sex trafficking, which includes offering those victims up to people as compensation in the company.
You want to talk about bad corporate decisions, as you just did a second ago. Yeah, not much to it. Just dude can't rot in jail forever fast enough. Insane.
Oh, he's not going to see jail.
Absolute. I mean, the level of this shit, dude, you think so?
No, Vince is the kind of guy who would just spontaneously combust from 10 heart attacks on the way to the jail.
You think you think the immunity of like Cash Field can stop like this level of fucking?
Oh, I mean, it's a civil lawsuit. It's not criminal. Civil lawsuits don't go to jail. They go to the poorhouse.
It's a civil case. Shit. Okay. That detail I missed. I thought it was okay. Well, here's
now. What might happen is he might accidentally kill himself.
So it would take
that could happen.
The question of what it would take for him to leave the company prior to this was like, because after everything beforehand where he's like, no, I'm still going to stay on board and all that. And then this shit comes out where it's just like, oh yeah, you shat on your rape victims that you then sex trafficked. Okay, no, now he's out like 2 hours later. So
Triple A Paul.
Hey, I'd like to focus on the positive things, says Triple A.
Hey Paul, how's that Netflix deal?
Now, you know the thing where like
I bet Netflix is stoked.
You know the thing where like, hey, let's pay memoriam to Chris Benoit when that happened, and then it's like, actually, wait, let's scrub him from existence from the archives.
Yeah, good job scrubbing Vince.
So like this is Do you then, is the Emperor, the main antagonist of the entire Attitude Era is now to be like
it's fucking Garfield minus Garfield over here,
scrubbed out of the existence of the archives? What do you even do at this point? Is there just a shadow Vince that like is getting stuttered? I don't know what the move is, but like him being the guy, the WWE himself, and now being the worst of anything that like I don't even know how you proceed with that. But yeah, Netflix deal on the horizon. Business is looking good. Fuck, man.
I have to agree. There's some folks that I saw on social media talking about this, how a lot of people in wrestling media are like complete coward pieces of shit, because they had an event, they had like a presser like a couple days ago, like right after the lawsuit came out, where Paul, that is Triple H, was sitting down to answer questions, and the first question was, "Hey, tell us what's the Netflix deal about?" And it's like, really?
Huh.
Like, really? You fucking you're gonna lowball him today?
I didn't see that had happened. What I did see was when he was asked about it, he just said, well, I want to focus on the positive things.
But the people who are doing like those questions by asking him bullshit,
just softballed it
softball shit that he can answer,
fucking possible story that has ever,
like, make him sit there for an hour just going no comment and sweat. Because, I mean, he was also running the company. And the wonderful thing about the civil lawsuit is that everybody in any position of management or power or authority is implicated, because everybody knew.
Yeah, look, so that the level in which it's like not only did exactly all of this happen with the victim, but then there were multiple people on his staff involved that, she was like given out to and shit, is like, okay, but that's the thing is, if it's what is the damage of a civil case? There's the reputation damage and then there's the monetary. But like,
well, I haven't read the thing, and I'm not a lawyer, so pardon if I get all this wrong. Smarter lawyer people could probably answer this, but my assumption is that the acts that Vince perpetrated are one thing, but the acts that he perpetrated as the head of the company, i.e. sex trafficking to talent or to management, means that the company is responsible.
Okay.
And if the company is found to be responsible for this kind of shit, then the sky is the limit.
So you would imagine that if like this is not like a necessarily like an OJ situation where it's like, oh, you are fiscally responsible for what happened, but like if this goes down and then it obviously the amount of news coming out about it and such would likely lead to subsequent lawsuits against each of the named perpetrators in the case. There must be further consequences than just monetary, I would assume. But yeah, I guess we'll see as it's coming out. But yeah, we kind of heard about some of the wild Vince shit and talked about it last time. But like, no, the details are fucking batshit insane.
I really thought covering up murders was as far as it went.
What's his name?
Jimmy Superfly Snuka's girlfriend disappearing.
Superfly Snuka, yeah.
And Vince telling the local authorities to not worry about it.
No, I don't think anyone had scat on their bingo card. So there you go. Anyway, that's happening over in the wrestling. So yeah, I said it a bit earlier, but
hey, you're last week where I was like, oh, cool. There's going to be wrestling on Netflix. Now me and the boy can watch. You know what? I think I'm going to pass.
Might reconsider, yeah?
I think I'm going to pass.
Well, the ink hasn't dried yet on those contracts. So.
Oh, are you serious?
I think so.
I thought it was done. Oh, that's real funny.
I think so, or I might be wrong. I thought so. What is happening over with Rocksteady? So
Oh, well, that's a layoff story in advance.
Preemptively. So Suicide Squad servers had to get pulled offline an hour into the early access release because people who booted the game up, it then completed the game as soon as they logged in.
Hey, thank you for completing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
It completed the game?
Yeah.
Like
you'd load in and it would be like, it would show you like the credits and the you'd go into like the post game.
Oh, okay.
That's fucking
cool.
That again,
that's a wild fucking that's pretty wild.
You would assume a bug would be entered, you know, for a pretty severe bug that is the game beats itself on
Didn't they literally just do a like
cleanse of
alpha or beta or whatever, or was that
they did not?
Oh wait, no, because this is the early access to the full game, isn't it?
So yeah, and this is also a game that switched hands right multiple times. The timeline I got was an unknown developer from 2010 to 2013, and then it switched over to WB Montreal till 2016, and then it switched over to Rocksteady from 2017 till now. So
there's also 2 more Suicide Squad stories which are really funny. One is IGN coming out and going, yeah, they're not sending out review copies.
I saw that a lot of places did not get
no one
copies.
is getting a review copy. And so you combine that with today, the only people who get to play it are the early access, bought the fancy edition. Oh, and it's broken. That's fun.
We like to call them play testers.
But the other part that's really funny is they added Denuvo DRM to the game
Denuvo's
a couple days ago.
Hell yeah. Sweet.
So that the performance is probably going to get hit a little bit.
Always good.
So I'm not like a big Denuvo hater. Like I understand its purpose and I don't usually run into issues with it. But of note here is that this is already an online only game.
Yeah.
So what is Denuvo supposed to fucking do?
Does it have like anti-cheat for online games? I don't know.
It's copyright protection Denuvo DRM. So they just put it in to just
no fucking reason.
No benefit at all to them.
So I remember
unless the game you can play it offline, like
you cannot.
Will there be an offline mode?
No.
Well, someone says there is, but they're adding it. A couple people say they're
adding it later. Oh,
cool.
So that's what Denuvo's for.
I just had this
to preempt the offline version later.
Now I learned about Denuvo from you, Pat, from years ago when it was when it absolutely affected games for the worst. And I remember like you were the one that told me about how bad it used to be.
Yeah.
Right? And then like over time
the reason why it doesn't bother me quite so much anymore is because it always required the same amount of juice to run.
Okay.
But we are now using stronger computers than it was before. So it is now a comparatively smaller thing. I still would genuinely prefer that it's off. It often introduces like a minor stutter that's very annoying. But I understand its reality. I think it's short-sighted. I think it's pointless because a lot of them still get cracked anyway.
Yeah, like within the first month. I mean, the thing is, they do it because within the first month is when most people are going to buy the game.
And if it delays the piracy by 2 weeks, they're like, "Well, we did what we wanted."
I can see why they do it. I had this thought about didn't it's been a while, but didn't Arkham Knight also have the thing where they didn't send review copies? I swear that was a thing.
I don't remember that. I remember that the PC version was massively fucked up.
I mean, games hiding review copies is a thing that has happened.
It's a funny thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it happened like more than once with
we got people in the chat saying the Denuvo games do not in fact get cracked anymore.
I see.
Really? That's wild. Oh man,
Liza P had it and hasn't been cracked. Okay, well, if it actually works for piracy protection, then I can absolutely understand why people put it in their fucking games.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess if it's the effect it has is less malicious than fucking Capcom kernel level spyware.
That shit's fucking crazy.
You know, I suppose so. Yeah. No review codes is always a fucking, that is a wild gambit.
Yakuza 7 not cracked. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay, so it works then.
Yeah. Those are the kind of the main bits. Only other things. So we talked about the announcement for Bloodborne Kart with all of its features. Well, Botster has had an announcement about that. Sony has been in touch, and after such a long time, it turns out they do own Bloodborne. Actually, they do care. So
it kind of sucks that they like sent the cease and desist like right as the game.
They should have sent it right away.
Yeah, it's so shitty. But it just goes to show you the level of concern for the franchise, right? Or like the entirety of Bloodborne PSX came and dropped and was a thing, and then the follow-up project, most of the way through development, could have already been out, but because Botster wanted to put more features into it, she kind of kept going, and then it got to the point of like, here's the big release. But yeah, so anyway, long story short, gonna scrub the branding off of what was previously known of Bloodborne Kart. But that requires a short delay, which, again, you gotta imagine that this was expected to some degree. There's always a contingency plan working on a thing like this. And again,
it might be for the best, because now that they can go for like original branding and all that.
Well, they've already shown off at least one thing, which is incredible, because Mikolash has been turned into Nicholas. And it's just Nicholas with a cage.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, them's fighting herds from fighting is magic, right?
Now they can sell it now. They can actually make money off this project that people are really like interested in.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to clarify something, because I keep seeing people in our chat discuss it afterwards about the De Novo thing, because people are arguing back and forth as to whether or not which game was cracked and when. The fact that this is a discussion that people are arguing about as to whether or not a game from like 3 years ago ever even got cracked is kind of the point of putting De Novo in your game. There was a golden era, if you didn't want to pay for anything, of like, every single day a game came out, bam,
day one,
got it. Now you have to go to your shady website and ask a guy, does this one did get it? And like, no, maybe next year. Like, it's like, I understand they should not be putting a DRM thing in your fucking game that makes it run worse. However, it is doing the thing they wanted to do, which is slowing down piracy.
The discussion even happening is a step up from the one where it was like, oh, it's just by default automatically been cracked.
What's interesting is that like part of the Capcom thing that we talked about, like the Enigma DRM,
there was an update to that, right?
Yeah, it's them replacing De Novo in some of those games.
Was there so there was like one of the games that then got patched and then wasn't working on Steam Deck or something to that effect, like after the fact instead of the so I forgot. Anyway, well, just to back to Bloodborne Kart, I was going to say that I feel like there is Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. Right. I feel as if the hustle that is like making a fan game, getting that out there, and then getting asked to make the change after everyone is already invested and cares about your shit is not a bad one.
It's not the worst.
That is pretty good promotion.
Excited for Bloodborne Spooky Carts.
Yeah.
I feel like more people are going to be open to supporting the project now that it had all this trouble with the cease and desist.
Yeah, and like, again,
because when I heard about that, I was like, oh, that fucking sucks. I wanted to play it. I'm willing to support now, like, because I know it's not going to be like an easy like just switch over.
But again, like the amount of detail that was so lovingly put into Bloodborne PSX kind of shows like an attention to detail and a love for this type of thing that you want to see in any other game that gets put out. So
you know what? Bloodborne Kart actually does bring us to a story that I'm shocked wasn't actually at the top of the list today. Wooly, do you have the statement from the Pokemon Company? about Pal World.
What did they say?
So I have it in front of me.
Wait, you didn't see it?
Yeah. So we have a statement from the Pokemon Company. Inquiries. This is an official translation on their website. Inquiries regarding other companies' games. We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January 2024. We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or assets in that game. We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to Pokemon. We will continue to cherish and nurture each and every Pokemon and its world, and work to bring the world together through Pokemon in the future. Signed, the Pokemon Company.
So nothing. So absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
words,
have,
nothing.
Yeah, it's because they don't actually. They can't really prove anything because
I feel like that letter reads like, please stop calling.
Yeah, please.
We
also,
know.
Like, who the fuck is out here emailing the Pokemon Company about?
Narcs.
Billy, Billy, have you not seen
Narcs?
Have you not seen the madness?
Who the fuck is batting 100 for fucking Nintendo, dude? What?
Are you insane?
Oh my
been
God.
on Twitter? Like,
have you lived this world?
Have you
been to a Smash event?
Do you exist?
No. I exist. I just don't care for Nintendo.
Oh God, Billy, they're
fucking
rabid.
can't do it anymore, man.
No, but dude, I don't like pickles, but I don't believe
like
that people like pickles.
All right, Billy, you're gonna have to trust us. They're out there. They're crazy.
I'm not surprised.
There's a lot of them.
Like, my wife doesn't believe in space. That doesn't mean that space isn't real.
Your wife doesn't believe in space?
Yeah, Paige doesn't believe in space.
Paige, what the fuck?
Okay, so we were watching Star Trek.
I feel like we just passed right. What?
No.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Because space.
What does that even mean?
Okay, I thought it was just a thing that was already said before. This is new. This is like new fucking lore.
Okay,
oh my God.
Okay, Paige is afraid of like the vastness of space.
Yes.
So she doesn't believe in it. So when we watch like Star Trek or something, she just says that they're flying through big nighttime.
I fear it, therefore it doesn't exist.
That's right. Just like ghosts. She's like that about ghosts too.
Oh, please.
Doesn't believe in ghosts, but she's afraid of them.
I don't know what to. I am scanning frantically for a goddamn response.
No, she's chilling with the baby right now. She's busy.
All right.
This is so beyond me. I don't even know what to say to that.
Fucking how are you gonna just casually drop anyway? All right.
Oh, this has been known for years. I'm shocked it never got to you.
You've known this for years that she just
doesn't believe in. No, in
ever,
space. No, it's not real. It's just nighttime everywhere.
Have you ever had the moon landing conversation?
I have a shirt about that actually. I have a shirt that says I'm not really sold. I'm not 100% sold on the moon landing.
Yeah.
And my wife hates it when I wear it out of the house because she's afraid one of the neighbors is gonna like think I'm a fucking idiot. But I think it's funny.
But what does she think?
I don't know. I've never asked her. I'm pretty sure she believes in the moon landing. It's just that the moon is surrounded by nighttime.
Is she also a fan of Kubrick? By any chance?
I don't know. Probably. Isn't everybody?
No, probably not. She's scared of ghosts.
Yeah.
Christ.
This took such a fucking turn, dude. What the hell?
Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, there's people out there that love Nintendo like they're God.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's just like, I don't want to believe it. You know what? I'm scared of Pokemon fans. I don't think they exist.
See?
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
No, but so like one of the funniest things about this is like the Pal World discourse is now the most pointless thing in the world because Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are like, yeah, we know. And so all further discussions about whether or not Pal World is like plagiaristically evil, ripoff, whatever, is a decision for a bunch of lawyers and a copyright court in Japan to make, not for us to discuss.
The thing is, when it comes to copyright law, at least in the U.S., like you have to be able.
You have to really fuck on it.
You have to like you have to prove that. You have to prove that the existence of this is infringing on your copyright because it is taking away your own business. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anybody who's playing Pal World is like was going to buy Pokemon in the first place.
Oh, I think there's a huge overlap of people who will always buy Pokemon and also buy anything that even looks kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah, well, just and just even even the fact that the premise is put onto this game, when it turns out the actual gameplay is not Pokemon, but the themes are there, is enough for it to blow up on that premise alone. That's how you get to fucking 8 million.
But the thing is, you have to like prove without a doubt that it is going to like take business away.
Yeah, no,
you also have to prove like brand confusion.
Yeah,
you have to be like, this is so similar that people will think it's Pokemon.
Here's the font similarities. Here's the data. No, there's nothing there to that. But believe me when I say,
we're talking about Western law because like I don't know how.
Yeah, Japanese IP law is actually a lot more stringent.
Okay.
But the meme with the fat guy with the knife, leave the multi-million-dollar company alone.
Yeah, no, the multi-million-dollar company has its own fat guys with knives. They are aware.
That thing got a lot of play.
I used to be a gigantic Nintendo fan, and like after last year, I'm like completely done with that.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, and then you hit puberty.
No, I still haven't hit it.
Oh,
I'm waiting on it. That's why I sound like that. That's why
I like Nintendo's like first party software is incredible, and the management of their company is like one of the most incompetent ever.
Yeah, I mean, also like one of my favorite games of all time is Chibi Robo, and I'm gonna be honest, like the way they treated that IP, their own IP, is like basically what made me think like, I'm done here. Like,
sorry, they can't hear you over the shit zillions of dollars.
Yeah, if they don't care, I don't care.
And coded in them also not knowing or caring about what the other people, what the rest of the industry is doing.
It's an internet. Can a Mario go on that internet? No.
Okay, well, if he can, but then he'll be replaced with the CPU on discount.
Why isn't my phone Mario money now? Phone money.
They did put Mario on the phone.
Yeah, no, because and God bless. I mean, again, those Ask Iwatas were the investor meetings, or not Ask Iwatas. The investor meetings would go down, and like they're going, "Why not Mario phone money now?" And he's just like, for like every quarter.
Speaking of Iwata, I think it's actually like fairly poignant that we're talking shit about Nintendo. But underneath Iwata, that company was run like in a way that you would kind of fantasize most companies being run. He was very public about taking like very significant pay cuts as CEO when the company hit bad times, and described, I don't have the exact quote, but he was like, if you just fire people to make your numbers, people are going to have terrible morale because they're going to be afraid of getting fired. So I don't think people who are just working out of fear of getting fired are going to be able to do a good job.
Also, mandatory anti-crunch and lighter work weeks as well. And
is that a thing at Nintendo?
I think there was a thing about them having like forced cutoff points for the amount of work you can do.
That's probably because of all the deaths due to overwork.
Karoshi.
The deaths?
Yeah.
Karoshi is a thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's probably because of that.
Yep.
Then there was I guess an interview where they're with FF7R2 on the horizon. Kitase was talking about FF6, and he says if we were to remake Final Fantasy VI in the same vein as 7, it might take twice the amount of time it's taken to make 7.
It's just a straight up like, you motherfuckers are crazy.
It would be a 20-year project. The volume we need to work on is much more than 7, and it has more party characters too.
All I'm saying is I'll be alive by then. Do it.
You don't know that.
I mean,
I have the will. I'm sorry, but I have such fucking strong goddamn will. You tell me in 20 years there's gonna be FF6 remake, I'm gonna fucking stay alive, dude. Pure fucking power of will. Just because
it reminds me of it reminds me of the Obsidian talking about Pillars of Eternity 1. When people were like, is it going to have as many maps as Baldur's Gate 2 did? And they're like, we wouldn't be able to ship it on a fucking disc if it did. Do you remember how many maps Baldur's Gate 2 did? You people are crazy.
FF6
we can't do that many.
FF6 remake is a pretty good reason to stay alive. That being said, if you try to sniff Pat's hands in the bathroom ever, he will stab you and end your life.
I will.
So,
yeah, I'll do it.
Oh my God, fine, Jesus, I get it.
I have a bubble of personal space that I don't like anyone to enter. Ideally, that bubble's like 3 or 4 feet.
It's I believe. Well, given no other external factors, it would be about the size of the moon. I believe.
Yes,
has been covered.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah.
Having a little baby boy, a little bit less squeamish to human stuff, because there's a lot of human stuff.
Okay.
To get on you,
but it's a particular flavor of human stuff.
I don't like the use of the term flavor in this example.
Rethink what you just said. Good Lord.
It's your flavor of stuff.
I don't like this at all.
Okay, man.
He says we would need to prepare a lot of things. I can't imagine that the task would have the resources we have to take it on at the moment. But
look how long it took them to get up to like the full party in 7. The full party in fucking 6 is more than twice that.
Also, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel as if like 7 being a bit more like being 3D, being a bit more close to modern than 6, but even though it's like the game right after, like there's a little less work to do in some of those stages, you know. The 6 being done up in that way is like, yeah, it's an entirely new game, but then you want to give it the same breadth so that you're not just being a faithful recreation.
I think it was Tim Rogers that talked about. I think it was Tim Rogers that talked about like the weird desire to remake FF7 came out like really fast, which was not an overwhelming feeling for Final Fantasy games prior, and it's because FF7 was the first of its type. It was the first 3D. And it was, little blocky Popeye looking dudes.
So the age felt faster.
You could immediately see all the ways that it could be improved that weren't a complete wholesale redo.
That makes a lot of sense, because I also feel like the two were always 7 and Chrono Trigger, but I love what Chrono Trigger currently looks like a lot, like it.
Yeah, like because like no one's been screaming at the top of their lungs remake FF9 for forever. That would be cool. But like,
it already looks great. Like,
FF9 just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And
to be fair,
this by playing the version that you played, like you finished it like 2 weeks ago.
Well, and to be fair, people are crying for a remake of every one of them.
Of course,
but by relative comparison, yeah.
But like FF7, like even the Popeye guys are like the CG that was like barely able to hold itself together. Like you were playing it at the time and it was the most mind blowing thing in the world. And then like 2 months later, you're like, oh, they could have cleaned that part up. They could have had the battle models on the field and not have to do little Popeye guys and whatnot.
Like, literally, Punch Mom just beat 7 last night. I was just watching.
Awesome.
Just watching that final sequence going down, and I'm just like, oh yeah, when Supernova gets cast, like fucking get the popcorn. That's gonna go. But yeah, I think that's a really good observation. The fact that it enters low poly 3D is gonna be. Is the fact that like low poly 3D is where the improvements are like much more obvious. Yeah.
Like people wanted a port of FF10 and then they were like, oh, we'll clean it up. But people weren't like screaming for decades, like remake FF10 from the ground up. It's like, no, because it was, you look at FF10, you're like, yeah, that's a PS2 game and it's got the voice acting. It's got this and it's got that.
That being said,
it didn't age as much. Yeah.
If there were to be another task this gargantuan, 6 fucking deserves it. if they ever were to be that insane.
Yeah, but at the same time, 6 doesn't like demand it.
No, it doesn't. But it would be so cool.
If anything, like if they genuinely want to remake FF6, I feel like what they could do is what they did with like a bit more time and like polish, but they could do what they did with the new Star Ocean 2 remake, and I'd be
clean it up.
Oh, yeah. So the pixel remasters are the clean it up bit, and they've included the little bit of like slight 3D, like the opera scene gets the 3D scene, and the vocals and the multi-language track for that and stuff. So it's that's their version of it. Plus they got the original sprite artist to redo the same and improve it in that way. So I think this is as much as they're gonna do. Like they're not gonna go the full Star Ocean route, but this is the cleanup. Cool.
I forgot about Pixel Remaster. I'm gonna be honest.
That was
I forgot they already remastered them.
That was how I played 6.
Upscaled.
Yeah, where they fixed Cyan, so that he's actually good.
Cool. All right, let's grab some letters.
Hey, if you want to send in a letter that we could read, and it's probably going to have a question, make it short and send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
All right. We got one coming in from Adelaide in Australia. Dear Red and Dreads.
Good eye.
Despite the game releasing to middling reviews, Ass Creed Mirage was a game that was developed with an intentionally smaller back-to-basics approach, a direction that I wish many other AAA studios would take. What other franchises do you think would benefit from limiting themselves to a smaller scope, whether that's a smaller scale story or less overall content or lighter gameplay systems?
All of them.
Tap the sign.
Oh, what's the quote?
Gotta get it right. I want games with worse graphics. Shorter games with worse graphics, and I'm not kidding.
There's variations of that
made by people
who are paid more to work less.
And I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I want worse games made by worse people.
No, that's not what we said.
Yeah. Shorter games with worse graphics made by people
worse
who are
games
paid
made
more.
by worse people is incoming this year after all these layoffs.
There you go. Yeah, at that level, basically all of it, right? I mean, there's
I would say almost, because then I would be able to get like more newer, weirder games, or they wouldn't take so goddamn long.
On a much
games
more
with risks.
On a much more targeted level, I do feel like the Persona games could like tighten up the endings in some cases when they meander longer.
It's going to be really interesting with P3 because P3 is a much shorter, more concise and simpler game.
It's the best one. I love that ending.
I don't think it's the best one, but I think it's pretty good.
The best of the endings is what I meant.
Oh, the endings?
Yes.
I like
which one? Haha.
Okay, no, that's nothing wrong with that. That's a good one too.
Now I'm in this weird place where my favorite Persona game is the now technically the oldest. Persona 4, of course, because Persona 1 and 2 are fake.
I always yes. Well, we all know the graph, right? One is blue, 2 is 2
is yellow.
2 is yellow, and 3 is red. That's the Persona. Yeah. No. So I Billy. The way I always kind of parse this is like to me, 3 has the best ending, 4 has the best antagonist, and 5 has the best crew. That's my feeling about it.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
Oh man, that reminds me. Somebody in the chat mentioned it about infinite wealth. Because you're in America, half the time when you start fights, the enemy Americans will yell out, "I'll sue you," as their battle cry.
That's fucking awesome.
America. Yeah. All right. Oh well, yeah. Hardly AAA at all, but I definitely remember there's a point to where like the incredible game that is Hollow Knight could also be a little bit shorter. It could be a little bit, just a little.
Silk
bit.
Song's gonna come out. And like, I genuinely feel like one of the complaints about Silksong is that it's bloated because they kept working on it more, and they were like, well, we've got to add more, and added like 2 or 3 extra years of dev time to make the game too long. Like, that's what I'm feeling in my gut.
Or we could just wait for Pocket Pair and and then that'll be, then, you know, you can just play that, and they'll take all the Silksong anticipation. We got one coming in from no name given.
Anonymous writes in.
Excuse me, I got it from Rope. Rope says, "Greetings, Honorable Judge Woolley and Prosecutor Pat.
Hey,
with
you're
the
guilty.
Apollo Justice trilogy coming out on Steam recently, I started playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and I have come to a single conclusion: this is the best Ace Attorney game by far. What are your opinions on the Ace Attorney games, and what are your favorite cases and characters throughout the series?"
I absolutely adore all of them, though I haven't gotten to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Though I should mention, while I'm talking about this, I got sponsored to play Apollo Justice earlier in the week.
Okay.
They really cleaned up that fucking Nintendo DS game. It's crazy.
I was gonna say, they also sent me an early copy for our show, and like, I had issues with the original trilogy remasters, especially the presentation, and like, holy shit, the work they put in. It's so good.
What's my favorite case? Oh, it's the final case of Injustice for All. My favorite case.
Okay.
That game overall is fairly mid, but that final case is incredible.
It's peak. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that franchise has been a like LP potential thing waiting to happen, and the biggest hurdle has always been the amount of dialogue. But
oh, dude, Paige came over to help me with that, to do the voice acting. And then we did it for like the 2 hours for the sponsorship. And at the end, despite sharing the voice acting with her, we were both shot.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like, it's so much.
So my thought is, I'm getting practice with the FF games that were for voice acting as we play them. And I'm getting a lot of practice with a fucking audiobook that I'm reading out on stream. So, like, in another way, I'm like, this is me kind of doing this Disco Elysium story while preparing to be able to take on something like Phoenix Wright as an LP, or a Planescape Torment or something like that. Like, I want to just, you know, train so that I can do it and read it out, and we can tackle that type of thing.
Good luck with that shit.
Yeah, I'm fingers crossed, but it's such a cool series that I always wanted to fucking go further.
You could try Ghost Trick. Ghost Trick's a lot shorter.
I did play Ghost Trick for a bit, and I did like it. But like, I played the first or second case of Phoenix Wright. I got like 2 or 3 cases in, and I loved it. I just, you know, always wanted to get that LP going. And I was telling you, Billy, all the antagonists are so fucking sick in like all of the games, like from Edgeworth to Godot to like the 2 brothers from later on. Like, they're all the fucking antagonist designs are fucking tight. I love that.
I mean, most designs are fucking incredible, except for Big Top. I fucking hate Big Top Turnabout so much.
What about that clown bitch that everybody likes? Oh, no, wait, that's not for you.
Oh,
not for me. Sorry, fellas, it's not for me.
The inventor of Clussy.
Yeah, she
single-handedly.
Oh my god!
I think Big Top Turnaround might be my fucking most hated case I've ever played in those series.
It's so bad.
The twist, like the fucking thing with the wheelchair, is just absolutely brain dead, stupid as shit.
I've heard that apparently the fucking anime version of Big Top Turnabout is actually like really good.
I bet it's because it's fast.
I bet it's because most of it is just gone. Because holy shit, does it drag?
Have you gone through that anime?
No, I have not.
Okay.
That's what I was.
No, he doesn't. We talked about this, Willie. He doesn't know about anime.
We did talk about this.
We talked about it.
Yeah, because there's a couple. I remember when
holy shit,
it came to the Persona ones. How I was just like remembering how like some of the animes for Persona are like just don't completely just avoid them entirely, and some of them are actually not bad, but like you got to know which ones are the ones that are worth diving into or so. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Listen, it was almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas.
Oh, do you not want to say the word lifestyle?
Oh God damn it!
Is Clussy when Clussy becomes a lifestyle? It's your
no, because lifestyle refers to a very, very specific and different thing.
Oh, then I have no idea where we're going. I thought
lifestyle refers to a singular person who is living their best life as a clown.
I see.
And has like a little song about living the lifestyle in front of like against the haters.
Okay. Yeah.
It is a nightmare that you really can't look away from once you start.
No, we occasionally over on Wooly Versus, we've occasionally hit up against the infinite depth that is the clown fetish hole. There's a lot you can go into there. Clussy is quite an established.
Is the clown fetish hole infinitely deep because it's a clown car style hole, or
that is correct.
I see.
It starts with the Phoenix Wright character. You might turn at Harley Quinn, or you might hit bouncy. But one way or another, you can just keep going into the mallet space.
I hate this.
All right.
I don't like clowns, by the way. I want that known. I don't like them.
Well, okay, but it's not about whether you don't like them or not. It's more like, do you?
I don't believe in them.
Do you have a
I don't
fear?
believe in them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you have a paralyzing, crippling fear of the clown? Is the real question.
No, they just make me very uncomfortable.
I agree. Fuck clowns.
Because when you're around a clown, you're
not scared of them, but they make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like someone broke it down once, I believe. They're saying that like, yeah, it makes sense that adults hate clowns because like as a kid, you love a clown because it's exaggerated facial features.
No.
And like, well, if you're
as
going
a child, I knew exactly what was what, and that was no clowns.
If you're going to like it as a kid, it's because of the exaggerated facial features for the same reasons that like a big mascot or something will work. But then as an adult, that uncanny valley shit and everything exaggerated starts to look more and more horrifying. So yeah,
I can see that.
That's the idea.
It's just I don't find them fucking funny.
I also don't find them funny.
No,
I'll fucking steal its nose and push it down the stairs.
It's also a 1950s entertainment trope, like we're currently commenting. You know what I mean? Commenting.
Yeah, but why is it still? If it wants to be, if clowns want to be like not commented on, they gotta stop. Why are they still going? It's since the 50s.
Because then out of nowhere a story comes out about people seeing clowns appearing in the middle of the woods, driving out into the dark.
I am going to go to the Clown Egg Museum and I'm going to eat every single clown egg I see.
I'm sorry, are you implying that clowns are being hatched? What is the Clown Egg Museum?
You don't know what a clown egg is? Okay.
Inform, please.
Okay, so when you
send us home, Billy. Send us home.
When you become a really famous clown, you get to paint an egg of your clown face. Like you paint your clown face on the egg, and then it goes to the museum, and you are basically recognized as one of the like main one of the important clowns in the world. This is not a bit. This is 100% true.
Well, I mean, it kind of is a bit.
Well, for them, everything's a fucking joke. So like, sure.
Pat, we got to get your face up in there.
You know, there's a clown egg register out. Oh,
you're really loving that, aren't you? You're just sitting there like stewing in it. Look at the joy in his fucking face.
There's a clown egg
register. You feel so fucking smart. Oh.
And if I go there, I'm just gonna start fucking eating the clown eggs. I don't know what to tell you.
Are these like real eggs or?
Oh.
Yeah, no, these are real eggs.
Dude, you are going to get sick as fuck if you eat these things.
Oh man.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I'll absorb their powers.
Listen, everyone who's ever said I'm gonna eat it, and then someone goes, "You'd get sick," and then they go, "I don't give a fuck." You'll give a fuck later.
Yeah, no, life was better before I knew about clown eggs. Cool. I agree. I also agree.
That's pretty good.
There's a really good Irish clown horror movie, and it's hilarious, and it's all about like clown eggs and how like mystical they are and shit. It's very funny. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's like something Stitches, but I can't remember.
All right. Well, look, Krusty gets a pass.
No.
Yes, Krusty gets a pass.
I vote no.
The great Pagliacci gets a pass.
It is Stitches. The movie is called Stitches. Very good. Very good.
Okay. Thank you for. I see. Oh wait, hold on. I see no.
One.
I see no ICP egg. That's
insane. Clown.
I mean, dude, what are we doing, right?
Are they real clowns? Are they in the egg?
They're the realest clowns that have ever existed.
Billy, where can people find you?
Are they legally clowns? Oh my god. Okay, I guess we're done. I'm being silenced again.
We would be out on a high note, but let the people know.
Okay, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Please Stop Talking. I have 4 different podcasts. I have my comedy podcast, Please Stop Talking, Pondering Spooky Tapes,
PST.
my horror movie podcast, Perilous Storytelling,
PST.
my D&D podcast, and Press Start Turbo, my gaming podcast,
PST.
which Wooly is going to be on, where we have a little conversation about his few years in QA, and it's a pretty good time, I think.
All right,
it's a pretty good time. We're also on Spotify and on Twitter. It's just SirMeowMusic.
Ah ouais, pas pire pantou, Billy. Merci.
Definitely.
All right, hope y'all enjoyed the podcast this week. Y'all stay safe out there. 1.
Don't eat any clown eggs, dude. Apparently.